coupon after the game. Mexican Grill is a proud sponsor of your Corvallis Nights. Food for people who love food. Located off the grill in Corvallis.
This season, the Knights and Cafe Material Handling are teaming up once again to support Community Outreach Inc. In every storm base at home this season, the Knights and Cafe will each donate $25 to See Alive. And the total is covered when the Knights win. Hey kids, don't forget to run the bases after the game to get player autographs, courtesy of Old Spaghetti Factory. Once the game is over, access the field near the TNT Builders Party Deck down the third baseline. Parents, get your kids registered for Knights Day Camp presented by Nike. This summer, we're offering 2 camps, June 25th and July 17th. Come and spend a morning of baseball fun with the best coaches and players in the WCL. Visit our website to register today. Fans, don't forget our annual fireworks spectacular is coming up on July 3rd. Tickets go fast for this game, so make sure you get them now at CorvallisNights.com.
Hi again, everybody, from Goss Stadium at Coleman Field on the campus of Oregon State University in Corvallis, along with Everett Bartee, Brian Thomas, Cassie Duke, Garrett Dworshak. This is Mike Parker welcoming you to Game 2 of the West Coast League Series between the Corvallis Knights and the Edmonton Riverhawks on a drone light show spectacular night, hence the later start as we get underway just after 7 o'clock. It looks like Shea Njai might be walking through the Jack Riley concourse as part of the distinguished cast of characters here this evening, a former Oregon State basketball player. Natalie attired in shorts and a short sleeve shirt. He may want to adjust that later, and if you're on your way to the ballpark, make sure it's better than I was expecting it to be, but I can feel that wind, that Candlestickian wind, unlike Sinatra's summer wind that makes you feel about warmth and feeling good. We have a Candlestickian wind that's beginning to blow through, so make sure that you come prepared. It's a gorgeous evening after a beautiful day here in the Mid-Valley, but last night the wind, it really did whip up. We encourage you to be prepared. Bring an extra layer or two, a hoodie or a blanket. I know Everett Bartee said he brought a hoodie, and Everett is blessed tonight to have his folks in the ballpark. Carter and Mika Bartee and his grandfather Ken Pastega sitting just below the McGrath family press box. So Everett will be at work on the live stream with his family right below, and it's great to have them and all of you here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field tonight with that big drone light show following the game. Last night, the Knights broke a 4-game losing streak with an important win over Edmonton. They'll try to make it 2 in a row tonight. The guy on the hill to close it out was right-hander Trey Swigert out of the University of Portland in Middleton, Ohio. He has been a very versatile player, both collegiately for the Portland Pilots and this summer with the Corvallis Knights. Made his pitching debut last night. We'll go over some of that and more with Trey Swigert, who will join me on the pregame show next with the starting lineups and more coming up. Thanks for joining us. It's the Corvallis Knights and Edmonton. Game 2 of this 3-game series. Trey Swigert up in 2 minutes on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Okay, Knights fans, it's time for our first pitch. Can everyone please direct your attention to the field? Tonight, our first pitch will be thrown out by our very own 2019 West Coast League MVP, Briley Knight. Let's put our hands together.
McColeman Field has turned out to be a beautiful evening for baseball. The Corvallis Knights and Edmonton Riverhawks coming up, and I'm happy to be joined by one of the more versatile players in the West Coast League. And for the Corvallis Knights, Trey Swigert, who hits, plays third, plays first, and pitches, as you did last night, Trey. You having fun doing all of that? You like kind of different roles?
I do. I do like having the ball on the mound. I love hitting and playing corner infield. I just love doing it all.
Good for you. How did you feel last night? I hadn't seen you yet this summer. Was that your debut for the Knights this summer?
It was.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you feel?
It was pretty good. A little wild to start, but then I got it dialed in there. Yeah.
Tell me about how Coach Loomis, what your role was. Our paths crossed with Oregon State and you guys several times, but not enough to know from day to day to day how you're sort of used in that approach in their lineup. Tell me a little bit about pitching and hitting for them.
Yeah, most of the time I would play first base, and then I would start one of the games on the weekend and DH that day. So I'd play first for 2 days and DH and pitch one game of the series.
You had a game, and I was overhearing you and Brooke Knight and Ben talking about, I don't know what the subject was, something like my greatest day in baseball or a good day in baseball. I don't even know how the subject came up, but can you tell me what you were sharing with Brooke about a day you had this year against LMU?
Yeah, probably the best day I'll ever have. I think I went 7 shutout in relief for 6 shutty and hit a game-tying homer and a go-ahead homer in the game with another hit as well. So I was 3 for 4 or whatever with that 6 innings in relief shutout. We won 5-3, and I had 3 RBIs.
Doesn't get much better than that. No. And was it in Portland on the Bluff or on the road?
On the road on a Friday night as well.
Wow. That's all big-time stuff, Trey. Trey Swigert joining me. To have a night like that, they don't, like you said, maybe never again, but never before. Was that, would you say, easily your best night in baseball?
Yes, yeah, I would say it was, yeah.
Tough to come by, but congratulations on having that. I don't know what brought it up. I don't think it was you saying, hey, Brooke, let me tell you about my big night. There must have been a reason that you guys were talking about that. I saw you just before the game, and it's a surprise. By the time this goes on the air, the surprise will be known. Briley Knight is here. He's going to surprise your skipper, his dad, Brooke, for Father's Day by throwing out the ceremonial first pitch, which is really cool. Do you have any plans tomorrow before the game for Father's Day yourself?
Probably give my dad a call.
Okay. Where is he back in Idaho?
Yeah, he's back in Idaho coaching my brother's summer team.
Okay. So, Trey, tell me a little bit about your path to Portland out of Middleton, and how did that come about?
Yeah. Trey, I went to a tournament in Portland, and he saw me there, and then we kind of talked a little bit. He came out to Idaho and watched me, and then I came on a visit and liked it a lot and went there.
So if it was Trey, were you recruited as a two-way or more as a pitcher, or how would you say that was leaning then, and where are you at with that now?
It was leaning a little more towards hitting at the time,
okay.
And then a true two-way commit. Mm-hmm. I mean, they wanted me to pitch and hit, so.
Okay. Hey, Trey, tell me a little bit about what you're working on after a very good spring with the Pilots and what this summer means to you, the kind of stuff you're working on in your craft as a pitcher, but also at the plate.
Yeah, at the plate, I've been really working on just the mental part of at-bats and making adjustments pitch to pitch. Trying to figure out how guys are pitching me and making in-game adjustments, and trying to feel like I'm playing super free and letting my athletic ability just kind of take over. So that's been the biggest focus on the hitting side, and the pitching side, that was my first outing this summer, so I just got back on that.
You expecting more now, though? Was that? I mean, has Brooke been saying, "Look, we're going to pick the spot, and you're going to go in and do it"? I mean, do you feel like there's more coming?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They'll start using me a little bit more.
Okay, good. Trey, when you talk about the craft and the art of hitting, the one thing in this league, with the wood bat league and some of the windy and conditions and so on, I feel like you pummeled some baseballs that might go out in the spring that don't in the summer. Have you felt that a few times this summer?
Way too many times. Yes.
Yeah. Is it frustrating to square a ball up and see it caught on the track or at the fence? I mean, do you just, or do you go back in feeling okay about it because you squared it up?
That's what I'm working on. I'm trying to feel a little bit better about those and not beat myself up, and try to take it as a step forward instead of a step back. Squaring up balls isn't easy. The way you do it, you got to take that win.
The team's only had 2 homers, yours and Archer in Bend, an opposite field shot. In terms of using the whole field, tell me a little bit about that in your approach and craft. Is that an important thing to you, to hit with power to both gaps and, like Archer did, be able to go WAPO?
That's probably the most important thing to me, because once I start trying to pull balls for home runs or extra bases, it really messes with everything else in the swing. Staying backside on the approach just is what I'm really wanting to do. So,
final thing, Trey, and that is, I'm going to ask you to kind of, none of us around here watching Knights baseball through all these summers have even seen the Knights hovering around 500 this time of year. You won last night, snapped a little losing streak, and climbed back over. How do you guys, Bo Kearns has told me all of you take it very seriously, that you're in it to win it. It's not like you're taking a cavalier sort of, it's just summer ball approach. What's your mentality when it comes to not only developing as an individual player, but winning?
Well, when you win, you get better. So, we go out there trying to win every night, and when you don't, it sucks. Yeah.
More wins are coming, I feel like, from this group. Do you feel like you're kind of the roster, everything coming together, that whatever little skid you've been on, do you feel like there's signs of coming out of it?
I do. I think we're starting to get to know each other a little bit, starting to play for each other instead of ourselves, and pitchers are starting to compete a little bit better. So I think there's some good days ahead. A lot of wins.
Trey, it's been fun watching you all over the field and closing last night's game. Thanks for making time for the pregame show. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Trey Swigert, my guest. The first pitch just around the corner. The Knights in Edmonton, and a spectacular drone light show after the game, but bring your blankets. It could cool off by then. Great to have you with us on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Two minutes. A pleasant, slightly breezy, and I would dare say cooling Saturday night at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, but a good crowd coming in for what will be, I think, a really memorable show for a lot of people, youngsters who've never seen a drone light show before. Last year was the first time I'd ever seen one. It was after a Knights game. This is the first of two. The next one will take place in about a month, July 18th, Pioneer Connect Drone Light Show Spectacular. But those of you who are on your way in, we've got a nice night of baseball ahead, followed by the first of two drone light shows. The ever popular fireworks night is on the schedule and coming up July 3rd, Oregon State Credit Union Fireworks Night. Let's take a look at the lineups. First of all, for the visiting Edmonton Riverhawks under head coach Jake Lanferman. Leading off at shortstop, Shido Satow. Batting second in left field, Kotaro Wakui. Chris Parkin hitting third at third, or should I say Brooks Robinson, or should I say Greg Nettles. He played like both last night. Omar Gonzalez, the designated hitter and the cleanup hitter. Max Stagg batting fifth at first base. Jason Green hitting sixth and catching. Mitchell Mittemus batting seventh in right field. Matt Van Slyke, as far as I know, I asked, no relation. Matt Van Slyke batting eighth at second base. Drew Veach batting ninth in center field. And Omar Gonzalez's brother, Omar the DH, Alan Gonzalez, getting the start. For Brooke Knight, who's already had a Father's Day delight, a surprise on the eve of Father's Day, I'll tell you about in a moment, for his Knights. Leading off in center field, Max Medina. Ethan Porter batting second at first base. Carter Stewart batting third and catching. Ian Draper, the cleanup hitter, at third base. Zane Garvey hitting fifth in left field. Ryan Severns batting sixth at shortstop. Ari Silva delivers the first pitch of the game, a fly ball to left field that Zane Garvey loses in the sun. I can't put that on Zane. He couldn't see the ball. He kind of knew something was coming. He throws his hands in the air. The ball gets by him to the base of the fence and straightaway left and lost in the sun. Shido Satow hit it well, put pressure on the Knights left fielder, but the pressure bearing down from the bright sunshine. We had some mitigating cloud cover this morning. That would have been helpful to Zane in this situation, but he just simply couldn't see it. The ball got by him, and Satow into second with a double. Kotaro Wakui, the batter, a leadoff two-bagger, lost in the sun. We'll see how Ari, a left-hander out of Loyola Marymount, deals with it, delivers a strike to Kotaro Wakui. No balls and one strike. Kotaro, left-handed hitter with one job to do here, and that is to get Satow moved. Silva out of the stretch, and the strike one pitch down and in. One ball and one strike. Kotaro Wakui out of Niigata, Japan, had played at Seward County Community College, now at Southwestern Oklahoma State University. Had a really good season at the D2 level. 352, 4 homers, and 40 runs batted in. The 1-1 sweeping curveball misses. Ball 2. 2-1 to Kotaro Wakui following the leadoff double by Shido Satow to open the game. Finishing out the Knights lineup, batting seventh in the second game of the series, Maverick Russell, the designated hitter. Joey Morosco hitting eighth in right field. A ground ball into right field, base hit. Satow will stop at third with Knights right fielder firing the ball back in. Joey Morosco's throw eluding the cutoff man and nearly got by Carter Stewart, but Carter able to chase it down with Silva covering. Satow stops at third, and the Edmonton Riverhawks off to a good start. Fly ball lost in the sun, yes, but it did go for a double. And Wakui with a solid single to right, and the Riverhawks in business from the get-go. First and third, nobody out as we get underway. Joey Morosco hitting eighth in right field. Tate Hammond batting ninth at second base. Left-hander Ari Silva on the mound and in a little bit of trouble from the start. Delivers a breaking ball down and in, ball one. Jackson Clark behind the plate tonight. Bryce Reeves, the base umpire. a good crowd coming in. It's not quite the same sort of packed to the gills sort of crowd we get for the fireworks night, and I think it's because the drone light show is still kind of new on the Knights promotional calendar. When the word of mouth gets out about, hey, you're going to fireworks for the Knights? Yeah, but you should see the drone light show. I think then we'll see the sort of sellout gathering maybe for the next one later this summer. The 1-0 pitch, a strike to Chris Parkin. 1-1 the count, first and third, nobody out. The 1-1 pitch, a fly ball to right center field. This will be deep enough to get a run home. Orozco defers to Max Medina, who makes the catch. Sato tags. The throw comes into second base. Chris Parkin with a sacrifice fly to center field. And it's 1-0 Edmonton here in the top of the first inning. Holding at first base, Kotari Wakui, and now Omar Gonzalez, the designated hitter, will come to the plate. Omar out of Palma High School in Salinas, Monterey Peninsula College, where he began, now at Cal State Los Angeles, where he had a monster of a spring. 293, 18 homers, 46 runs batted in. He takes high, ball one, 1-0. 1-0 Edmonton, top of the first inning. For the Knights defensively, Ari Silva and Carter Stewart, the battery. Ethan Porter at first, Tate Hammond at second, Ryan Severns at short, Ian Draper at third, Zane Garvey in left, Max Medina in center, Joey Morasco in right. Ari's 1-0 pitch down and in, ball 2, 2-0. 1-0 Edmonton, top of the first inning as fans continue to come in, and I'm glad to see they're bearing hoodies and blankets as they so do. It is sunny. You can ask Zane Garvey about that. He would affirm it. Losing the ball in the sun to open the game on the game's first pitch. Changeup swung on and fouled into the mid of Carter Stewart. Good pitch from Silva. And the count moves to 2 balls and a strike with a runner at first, 1 out, and a run in. Ari, an incoming freshman to Loyola Marymount out of McClatchy High School in the Sacramento area. Left-hander set. Looks over at first and throws over there. Wakui back to the bag. The Knights and Riverhawks will wrap up the 3-game series tomorrow on Father's Day. A 5:05 first pitch. And what a Father's Day delight on the eve of Father's Day for Knights skipper Brooke Knight tonight. The 2-1 pitch swung on and fouled at the plate by Omar Gonzalez. That evens the count at 2-2. As I was pulling into the ballpark tonight, parked out beyond the trees in left field in this bucolic setting here in the Mid-Willamette Valley, and the oldest continuously used ballpark in America, right here, Corvallis, Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Home plate laid out in 1907 and hasn't moved. Out of the stretch works Ari Silva, looks over at Wakui and tosses over there. Kataro back. Edmonton with a run here in the top of the first. I heard a "Hey Mike." I turned and looked, and behold, Briley Knight, the 2019 West Coast League MVP, a tremendous career here as a ball player with the Knights, playing for his dad down in Australia. Another throw to first, a little closer play, nice move, but Wakui back. Briley said, "Don't say anything, my dad doesn't know I'm here. I'm going to be introduced and throw out the ceremonial first pitch, and that'll be the first time Pops knows that I'm in the ballpark." Coming in from the Tacoma area where he now lives with his new bride, Lizzie. And a surprise on Father's Day Eve. Brooke had a big smile on his face when suddenly Amanda, Briley's stepmom, and announced, and throwing out our first pitch, and here he is, the 2019 West Coast League MVP, former Knight, Briley Knight. And Brooke was indeed, the surprise worked. Sweet one indeed. Another throw to first, back to the bag goes Wakui. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out in the top of the first inning. The first pitch of the game hit into the path of the sun in left field. Zane Garvey unable to catch it. It went for a double. The Riverhawks are on the board looking for more. The 2-2 pitch on the outside corner. Strike 3 called. Nice location. Backdoor breaking ball from Ari Silva, and that'll bring Max Stagg to the plate. Ari is making his 3rd overall appearance. He's only worked 3 2/3. 5 hits, 6 runs, all earned. 5 walks and a couple of strikeouts. So the bigger thing, it appears tonight, will be for Ari to command the strike zone. He throws over to first. Kotari Wakui back to the bag. Max Stagg at the plate. Stagg hails from Adelaide, Australia. Speaking of Briley and Brooke, I'll tell you what, today, with due respect to various ball players that have come out of the great nation and continent, I think the best may be at it right now playing for the Cleveland Guardians. Not yet, he's got some work to do. The pitch on the way to the pride of Adelaide, Max Stagg, a fly ball to right field. Joey Marasco puts it away and the inning is over. The Riverhawks get a run and the Sun gets an assist on that run for Edmonton. Travis Bazzana today for the Guardians. 4 for 4, 2 homers, and 5 runs batted in. And the Guardians' 8-1 win over Houston at Houston. Bazzana hit 2. Yeah, indeed. I think he's going to go down before it's all said and done as the greatest ball player, maybe ever out of Oregon State, maybe, and out of his great nation. Max Stagg from down under flies out. The inning's over. A run, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left. To the bottom of the first we go. Edmonton 1. The Knights coming up back in '90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Rolling with the crew, where good vibes meet good times. Retro keys, vintage vibes, unlock your next adventure. Poop's got the hookup too, belly rubs included. Space to kick back, laugh out loud, and just be. Hit the pop shop for quick snacks and take in the moment, or just chill with your pup and soak up the good life. Stay original at Hotel Corvallis.
Bottom of the first inning. The Knights trailing 1-0. Max Medina will lead things off for the Knights against Edmonton right-hander Alan Gonzalez. The first pitch missing for ball 1. Max Medina, Ethan Porter, and Carter Stewart. The 1-0 pitch misses away from Allen. Ball 2, 2-0. The Riverhawks with a run in the top of the first inning. A fly ball lost in the sun, the primary reason. Alan Gonzalez comes back with a 2-0 pitch just outside to Max. Ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. Max starting the night at .348 with 7 runs batted in. Alan Gonzalez making his 5th appearance and 3rd start. No decision. An ERA of 5.06. Max Medina waiting on Ethan Porter waiting on deck. The pitch on the way to Max sails outside, ball 4. And Medina trots down to first, representing the tying run. Max will do some running. He's 3 for 5 in stolen bases. Ethan Porter will do some hitting. That seems to be his MO on planet Earth. A hitter. He can hit. It's fun to watch him, and he's been running too. He has 4 stolen bases. Second on the club to Joey Marasco and Kellen Siegel, each with 6. Ethan at .429 through 5 games. Medina held on at first by Max Stagg. The first pitch bounces away. Max didn't have a really good secondary. If he had a better secondary, and he should be at second base right now. The ball glancing off the shin guards of Jason Green. Medina missing an opportunity to pick up 90 feet. Had he been a little bit more sort of alert and aware with his secondary. 1 ball and no strikes to Ethan Porter. The 1-0 pitch bends Ethan back high and away. Ball 2, 2-0. 1-0 Edmonton, bottom of the first inning. Alan Gonzalez and Jason Green, the battery for the Riverhawks. Max Stagg at first, Matt Van Slyke at second. Shido Satow at short, Chris Parkin at third, Katari Wakui in left, Drew Veach in center, and Mitchell Middlemiss in right. The 2-0 pitch, Ethan swings and doesn't get it. The count 2-1. Gonzalez has a save, no decision. He's worked 10 2/3, 10 hits, 8 walks, 9 strikeouts. Good running count should Brook want to put something on. Medina doesn't go. The 2-1 pitch to Porter is high and inside. Ball 3, 3-1. Carter Stewart on deck. The Knights winning last night to climb over 500 and snapping their 4-game losing streak, now at 10-9. Edmonton beginning the ball game at 7-12. 3-1 the count to Porter, who swings and rips one down the left field line, heading for the corner. Max Medina getting to third base. He's going to be held there by Brook Knight with a throw coming back in from Kataro Wakui to the shortstop, Shido Satow. Into second base goes Ethan Porter. And the Knights trying to come right back before this big crowd in the bottom of the first inning, trailing 1-0. Have runners at second and third and nobody out for Carter Stewart. And again, that's that guy, Ethan Porter, who can hit a little bit. And I enjoyed the conversation with Trey Swigert, very much so, before the game. But I said last night at the end of the ball game that I was going to seek out Ethan Porter for the pregame show interview. I said to Trey, Trey, have you seen Ethan Porter around? He goes, no, but I've been looking for him. He didn't know where he was. I couldn't find him. So Trey kindly, almost in the spirit of Tom T. Hall's second-handed flowers, I said, well, I'm running out of time. Do you have time for the Oh, yeah, I could do it. We'll have to wait another time for Ethan Porter. Carter Stewart takes high and away, ball 1. Runners at second and third, nobody out. 1-0 Edmonton. The Riverhawks play their infield at normal depth. Alan Gonzalez works from the stretch, and Carter Stewart hits a high pop foul off third. Backpedaling and making a nice catch is Chris Parkin in foul grounds. Tough at bat for Carter. Making an out with the runner at third. He was certainly wanting to get the ball in the air, but not necessarily straight up, which it appeared to be for the foul out. One away, Ian Draper, the batter. Nice to meet Carter's grandfather, making the trip down from the Portland area tonight. Kevin Stewart is here. Carter out of Jesuit High School. Kevin very proud of his grandson, as well he should be. Carter had a nice spring with the Portland Pilots. Ian Draper, the batter, takes a strike. 0-1 the count. 1-0 Edmonton, bottom of the first inning. Max Medina at third, Ethan Porter at second. 1 out. Allen, the right-hander, comes set and comes to the plate. On the inside corner, strike 2. 0-2 the count. Zane Garvey, the on-deck hitter. Alan Gonzalez, 6'3", 210-pounder out of Salinas. Trying to get out of a tough first inning. 1/3 of the way there. Delivers the strike 2 pitch, swung on and tapped foul at the plate. The count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Zane Garvey waiting his turn on deck. 1-0 Edmonton, bottom of the first inning. Max Medina, a leadoff walk, gets his lead from third. Ethan Porter from second. Gonzalez kicks and delivers, swung on and chopped foul. Everything matters in these games, the little things. And Medina had, as I mentioned, the secondary lead. Had it been a little bit more alert and aggressive, he would have gone to second on a pitch that glanced away off the shin guards of Jason Green, and thus would have been available to score on the Porter double. Instead, second and third still with one out. A little topper. Medina will score here. A ground ball to third. Parkin up with it and throws to first. Max comes home on the ground out by Ian Draper. And the Knights pull even at 1. On the play, Ethan Porter holds at second. And Zane Garvey will be the batter. Nice job of executing the game. Ian Draper gets the RBI. And the Knights have pulled even at 1. Now Zane Garvey looking to give the Knights the lead. Zane at 306 with 9 runs batted in. Ethan Porter at second, 2 down and a 1-1 tie. First pitch is in there for a strike from Alan Gonzalez. 0-1 the count. Brooke Knight coaching at third base. Marcus Matias coaching at first. Both had heavy jackets on last night in the Candlestickian conditions. Garvey swings and punches one foul above Brooke Knight in the protective netting beyond third. 0-2 the count. The famous Twain line, accurate about the coldest winter he ever spent, a summer in San Francisco. And those of you who frequented Giants games back in the I saw, survived days of Roger Craig in the mid-'80s, as I did a few times. We know what Twain was speaking of. And we just had a small feel for that last night. Everybody around was talking about, oh my gosh, I'm cold, it's so cold. And it was one of the chillier nights because it kind of came unexpectedly after a mid-'80s day. The pitch missing to Zane Garvey, 1-2 the count. A 1-1 tie, bottom of the first inning. Bright sunshine prevailing, as Zane Garvey knows right well. A pitch clock violation on Alan Gonzalez, taking too long to work to Zane. And the count goes from 1-2 to 2-2. With Zane, who lost the fly ball in the sun on the game's first pitch, now trying to come back and give the Knights the lead with a 2-out hit. He takes a fastball just inside, ball 3, 3-2. From 0-2 to 3-2, one of those a pitch clock violation ball. And now Garvey has seen enough pitches to have a feel perhaps for what he can handle as he tries to give the Knights the lead in the bottom of the first. Ryan Severns on deck. The 3-2 pitch on the way to Zane, pulled up along first, foul, grabbed by Max Stagg. Crowd continuing to come in. It will be one of the largest of the season, but it is not quite yet like, as I mentioned, the fireworks nights, which the July 3rd show in particular through the years, and we hope you have your tickets. There are still some remaining, but you should get them soon. It is played to an annual sellout, low these many summers. That'll be July 3rd. Good crowd still coming in here tonight. 3-2 the count with 2 down. Ethan Porter getting his lead from second. The 3-2 pitch, ball 4 to Zane Garvey. Nice piece of work at the plate by Zane to work 0-2 to a Jim Boughton special. And Ryan Severns will come to the plate. Ryan Severns with 2 on and 2 out. Looking for the clutch 2-out base hit. Ryan at .231 through his first 4 games with the Knights with a run batted in. And a wild pickoff attempt to first base. Ethan Porter gets to third. Max Stagg chases the ball down in foul territory. And the Knights with runners at second and third on the errant throw by Alan Gonzalez. And now a base hit could give the Knights a 2-run lead. Jason Green heads out to the mound to confer with his battery mate, Alan Gonzalez. The Edmonton Riverhawks in town. We rehearsed a little bit of the history for Edmonton baseball, and it's a rich and colorful history in the great gateway city to the north. The North Saskatchewan River flowing through, and the famed River Valley. In fact, one of the team alternate identities this year, the River Valley Tree Huggers. They've worn those unis. I don't know if that's an annual tradition or this year or what, The pitch on the way, a strike, and the count 0-1. It is one of the great cities in North America, Edmonton, Alberta. And the Riverhawks have been as big a hit as any baseball franchise in the history of the great city. The strike one pitch, low and in, ball one, 1-1. And it is a pleasure to have them in the ballpark tonight. The Edmonton Riverhawks in their 5th year of existence in the West Coast League after a long distinguished run in the Pacific Coast League. And I did do a little more research on Ron Kittle's incredible year and his great story. I imagine he's still a bit of a folk hero in Edmonton. The 1-1 breaking ball hit high and deep to left. Going back on the ball is Wakui, still going back, and Kataro makes the catch to end the inning. A step or two shy of the 8-foot fence in the alley in left field. Not hit directly into the path of the sun, and Kotaro Wakui able to track it. And the Knights settle for a run on one error, and 2 left on base. And at the end of one, Edmonton won, the Knights won, back in '90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
A 1-1 tie at the top of the second inning. First ball swinging, Jason Green pulls one foul in front of his own dugout on the first base side. The Gene Tanzelli dugout, the Knights occupying Gary Baker dugout, named in honor of the Oregon State Heisman Trophy winner's brother, Terry Baker's brother Gary, big baseball fan and player here for a while for Ralph Coleman. The pitch on the way, down and in. 2 balls and a strike to the big left-hand hitting catcher, Jason Green, in this 1-1 tie. Ari Silva back to the plate and misses. High and away, ball 3, 3-2. Jason out of Georgetown, Ontario, a big 26 spring for Niagara University, starting 45 games. He takes down and in. That's a tough start for Ari Silva. First pitch of the game last inning went for a double, lost in the sun. Here he puts Jason Green aboard. Jason back for his second summer with the Riverhawks. 44 games last summer in Edmonton. Draws a walk here. Jason's father, Curtis, played baseball at Troy University. What a tremendous story Troy has been in college baseball, and rising to go to the College World Series for the first time here in the past couple of weeks out of Troy, Alabama, and the Sun Belt. I'm sure Curtis, Green, and all Troy alums very proud of that accomplishment as well. They should be. Mitchell Middlemiss swings and misses. No balls and a strike. A 1-1 tie in the second. Jason Green held on by Ethan Porter. Ari Silva to the plate, and the fastball misses up and away. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Middlemiss, a native of Chilliwack, British Columbia, plays at the University of British Columbia. and has played in Nanaimo in this league and with Edmonton each of the past 2 summers. Ari Silva from the stretch comes to the plate. A ground ball wide of third to the hole at short. Severin sprawls, goes and gets it, makes a throw he probably should have saved, but a good play to get the ball in the hole. It is a single from Middlemiss. Jason Green stops at second, and Matt Van Slyke will be the hitter with runners at first and second and nobody out in a 1-1 tie. We'll see how Coach Jake Lanferman wants to play it, whether he asks Matt Van Slyke to bunt, also a ball player out of the University of British Columbia. And Van Slyke is bunting, and he bunts foul back of the plate. 0-1 the count. The Knights put a wheel play on last night and successfully executed it with runners at first and second and nobody out in the top of the 9th inning. The ball game on the line. Coach Lafferman asked for a bunt, and the Knights executed a wheel play and got the lead runner at third. 0-1 the count, 2 on, nobody out, a 1-1 tie, and again squaring up early Matt Van Slyke. You wonder if he might pull back and slash, and he does, and he takes a strike. Now, he didn't slash, but showing early, and oftentimes that's a tell. I know it is with the Beavers. Most of the time when I see an Oregon State player squaring really early, I know something's up, namely a slash, and that's the way Van Slyke approached it as well. But he's down in the count 0-2 with 2 on and nobody out. The strike 2 pitch, strike 3 called on the outside corner, 1 away. Kind of a lost at bat in a sense for Matt Van Slyke. To bunt or not to bunt, to slash not to slash, and he ends up sometimes that can get a hitter out of sorts, and Van Slyke is gone on 3 pitches. So 1 away, and that brings to the plate Drew Veach, a .333 hitter with 5 runs batted in. Van Slyke starting the night at .231 with 3 runs batted in. The pitch to Veach from Ari Silva misses away, ball 1, 1-0. I couldn't help but ask yesterday Jake Lanferman when I came across Matt Van Slyke. All I said was, okay, Van Slyke, any relation? And he knew to whom I referred. The 1-0 pitch swung on and missed in the count 1-1. That would be, of course, Andy Van Slyke, but Coach Lanferman did not know of any relation with Andy. I know Andy more for a guy that Lasorda didn't pitch to than the guy he did pitch to in the '85 playoffs. The 1-1 pitch popped up on the right side. The infield fly rule will be invoked. Going back to get it is the Knights' second baseman, Tate Hammond, a step or 2 in shallow right, 2 down, and Shido Satow will be the hitter who doubled a ball lost in the sun last inning and scored a run. So 2 on and nobody out to begin the inning. 2 on and 2 out now in this 1-1 tie. And time called. Carter Stewart will go out to visit with his battery mate Ari Silva. I don't know if your memory, I know Coatsy, Al would know, and others would, watching that '85 playoff game, Game 6, Chavez Ravine, Dodger Stadium, a memorable home run moment when first base was open. The Dodgers were leading, I think, 6-4, 5-4. I think it was 5-4. 2 outs, 2 on, top of the 9th inning, trying to close it out. First base open with Andy Van Slyke on deck. First pitch, breaking ball in there for a strike to Shido Satow. NBC did a great job of covering the moment. Lasorda sitting in the dugout talking about, should I walk Clark and pitch to that so-and-so Van Slyke? So the so-and-so Van Slyke has always been sort of etched in my memory because of lip-reading Lasorda. The strike 1 pitch is off the mid of the catcher Carter Stewart in the count 1-1. 2 on, 2 out, top of the second, a 1-1 tie. So Lasorda's muttering about, should I pitch to that so-and-so Van Slyke or put Clark on and pitch to the left-hand hitter when I got a right-handed matchup and I got a guy Tom Niedenfjord just struck Clark out in the inning before. Out of the stretch works Ari Silva. The 1-1 changeup. Beautiful pitch in there for a strike, and the count 1-2. Well, Lasorda went out, made a visit. He comes back in. The camera stayed on him. No, pitch to Clark. After all of this time, pitch to Clark. First pitch from Niedenfuhr, gone about 8 rows deep in the left field pavilion. Lasorda was in the dugout in utter misery. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We have a pitch clock violation now on Ari Silva, taking a long time. With runners at first and second and 2 down, a pitch clock violation runs the count to 2-2. So Van Slyke, because of that moment alone, has always been memorable to me. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out. The 2-2 pitch, very high ball, 3-2. Now, he was a good hitter in his own right and had a nice career, but he's forever linked to. I laugh about it now. I wasn't as happy then. I still had some residue as a Dodger fan. The runners go, the 3-2 pitch, a little bit low, ball 4. Toshido Satow to load the bases for Kotaro Wakui. A ground single to right field for Kotaro in the first. A 1-1 tie in the second, with Ari Silva trying to work his way through trouble. Last inning he gave up a run. Here, 2 walks in the inning, a base hit, but he's an out away from getting out of it through it all. Facing the left-hand hitting Kotaro Wakui in a 1-1 tie. Comes to the plate, the ball gets through. Carter Stewart coming down the line to score is Jason Green. And Edmonton has the lead back at 2-1 on what I presume will be scored a wild pitch. And on the play, Mitchell Middlemas moves to third and Shido Satow to second. 2-1 Edmonton. And once again, it's an important moment for Ari. He's been touched for a run, yes, but now he's got to try to minimize. Zane Garvey shielding the sun with his right hand as the pitch comes to the plate, and it's a fastball for a strike and the count 1-1. Mac the Knight is really working the crowd tonight here, much to the delight of the youngsters who are cheering him on at every step. I'm not quite sure what Mac is all about at the moment, but he's a big hit in the stands. The 1-1 pitch fouled back, and the count 1-2 to Kotaro Wakui. Lasorda, in a sense, made the mistake. You can't let that guy beat you. If Andy, the so-and-so Andy Van Slyke's going to beat you, let him, but don't let the one guy that can hit the ball 8 rows deep in the pavilion, don't give him the chance to do it. Lasorda did, and Clark won the pennant for the Cardinals with that swing. The 1-2 breaking ball swung on and missed, strike 3 to end the inning. So a strong finish for Ari Silva, but a leadoff walk does come back to bite him. Edmonton regains the lead. A run on a hit, no errors, 2 left. We go to the bottom of the second. Edmonton 2, the Knights 1, back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Leading off for the Knights, the designated hitter from UC Santa Barbara, number 20.
Bottom of the second inning, 2-1 Edmonton. Maverick Russell, Joey Morosco, and Tate Hammond coming up for the Corvallis Knights against Edmonton right-hander Alan Gonzalez. Allen to the plate, and the first pitch misses outside to Maverick. 1 ball and no strikes, transferring out of UCLA to UCSB, heading up the road to a beautiful city, that's for sure. The 1-0 pitch on the way, a strike, and the count 1-1 to Maverick. Two to 1 Edmonton, bottom of the second inning. Alan Gonzalez comes back, a topper off the plate, right back to Allen. He fields just in front of the rubber and throws to first to get Maverick Russell. 1 away, and Joey Morosco to the plate. We had an enjoyable conversation before the game. Again, last night getting to meet Joey Morosco's family after the game. James Morosco, the ultimate Joe DiMaggio fan, who he knows way more about DiMaggio than I ever will, and I was certainly not necessarily, he wasn't trying to lord that over me, but he heard me talking about DiMaggio and books about DiMaggio and articles about DiMaggio, and he was reeling off things I'd never even heard of before. He is a true fan of the great Joe D, and his son named after the Yankee Clipper. The first pitch missing to Joey, the 1-0 offering swung on and fouled back, and the count 1-1. But James and his wife Julia and daughter Sammy, Joey's sister, making the drive up from Livermore, California for this series. Fastball in there for a strike. The count 1-2, and they spent, the Morosco family spent the day together, celebrating Father's Day a bit early because the Morosco family heading back tomorrow morning. The 1-2 pitch up and into Joey, ball 2, 2-2, and they said they really had a wonderful time in our little town. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Joey, with family in attendance, swings and pops one to shallow center field. Drew Veach moves in, loses his cap, slides down just to ensure the catch, which he does, makes the catch, 2 down, and Tate Hammond the batter. We have a wonderful town, there's no question about it, and coming back, I feel like coming home to his hometown, even though he grew up down the road, went to North Eugene High School. I don't know about you, but I was just thrilled today when I heard the news about the Oregon State pitching coach replacing a good friend and a great coach, a good man, and Rich Dorman leaving for the job at Florida. Andrew Moore coming home, and I just almost brought a tear to my eye thinking about that. Tate Hammond taking a first pitch strike. The 0-1 pitch is swung on and fouled back, and the count 0-2. 2 outs, nobody on. Bottom of the second, 2-1 Edmonton. Andrew is one of my all-time favorite people, and he is coming home. He had signed to pitch for the Corvallis Knights in the summer of 2013. He was going to pitch for the Knights after his freshman year at Oregon State. 1-2, 2 down, nobody on. Gonzalez to the plate and bounces his 1-2 pitch. That evens the count at 2-2. Andrew was ticketed for a summer with the Knights. He made the mistake, though, in his freshman year of 2013 of going 14-2 with the Beavers and an ERA of 1.79 and an All-American helping lead the Beavers to Omaha. 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. So after all the innings and the high drama of his incredible freshman year, he was shut down for the summer, had signed with the Knights, never did pitch, but went on to have a great career, 27-9 at Oregon State, pitched in the big leagues, and leaving the AAA job with the Cleveland Guardians to come back home to his alma mater and become the Beavers pitching coach. That's just great news, some of the best I've heard in a long time. I love it. The Knights go in order in the second. After 2, Edmonton 2 and the Knights 1. Back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Welcome. We're looking to switch and heard about OCCU. In 20 words, what makes OCCU different?
OCCU has free interest-earning checking, high-yield savings, and a community focus.
That's only 11.
We're the credit union with duck and beaver cards.
Sounds like OCCU has a lot to offer.
2-1 Edmonton to the top of the third inning. Chris Parkin swinging at the first pitch of the third inning from Ari Silva and missing the 0-1 pitch in there for a strike. Parkin with a sacrifice fly to drive in Edmonton's run in the first inning. The Riverhawks picked up a run in the second as well. The 1-1 pitch, fastball high and inside, ball two. Hey, Violet, if you want to use the binoculars and see and look around and use these and see your mom and dad, you can. They're kind of nice. You don't have to, but you can. The 2-1 pitch on the way, low and in, ball three, 3-1. 2-1 Edmonton in the third. Chris Parkin, Omar Gonzalez, and Max Stagg against Ari Silva. Zane Garvey still standing in a patch of sunlight out in left field and shading the sun as the left-hander Silva delivers a big swing by Parkin, and he lands on one knee after the swing and a miss. The count 3-2. When I talk about the former Edmonton trapper, Ron Kittle, I imagine, I'd love to know if anyone can confirm, the 3-2 pitch on the inside corner, strike three called. One away, the fourth strikeout for Ari Silva, and the first time he's gotten a leadoff hitter out. Ron Kittle, oh my goodness, hit 50 homers at John Ducey Park and other yards around the Pacific Coast League in 1982. I mean, come on, 50? So I hope he still has kind of a legendary status in the great city of Edmonton when it comes to baseball, and people have been around a while. He had hit 40 the year before at a lower level in the White Sox chain, and then in his first year in the big leagues in '83 helps the White Sox win the West. He's on the All-Star team and hit 35. 125 home runs in a 3-year period in pro ball. I mean, my goodness. Omar Gonzalez takes a strike, the count 1-1. One out, nobody on in the third. 2-1 Edmonton. Ari Silva's changeup stroked into left field, base hit. Zane Garvey gathers off the field turf. Gonzalez with a nice piece of hitting, staying back, poking the change through the 6-hole. And with one away, Max Stagg, the batter. Max flied to right field in the first. The thing I love about the Ron Kittle story, the magic number, and I still think 50 is a magical number, in spite of 70 and 60 and all that stuff that came later for reasons pretty well understood. The pitch on the way to Stagg, 50 meant something more when Kittle hit his 50 in the minor leagues than I think 73 did later, to be honest with you. 1 ball and no strikes, and that's not an old Dodger fan talking. I didn't like McGuire and Sosa's stuff either in 1998 when we found out sort of what it was fueled by. The 1-0 pitch fouled back, and the count 1-1 to Max Stagg. 2-1 Edmonton in the third. But 50 is just one of those, looking at Ron Kittle baseball cards, looking at baseball magazines, as I studied, so many of you did growing up as a fan. 50 just jumped out at me on Kittle. The pitch on the way to Stagg hit foul off to the right and out of play. And upon further research, knowing that the LA Dodgers had originally drafted him, but then when Ron had to undergo spinal fusion surgery, the Dodgers released him the following year, thinking, well, he was done as a prospect. And he kind of was. He had gone to work in the steel mills back in his hometown of Gary, Indiana, had kind of given up on baseball, but still, I mean, that sounds like a Bruce Springsteen song of sorts, or Billy Joel in Allentown. Anyway, he's working in the steel mills in Gary, Indiana, but still kind of playing some ball and taking his cuts. The 1-2 pitch missing low, ball 2, 2-2 to Max Stagg. 2-1 Edmonton in the third, 1 out, a man aboard. Billy Pierce, a former White Sox 20-game winner, outstanding pitcher, somehow knew of Kittle's situation and story and his promise years before as a prospect. Got the White Sox to give Ron a special tryout. So he leaves his shift at the steel mills to go take some swings for a tryout, and the rest is 50 home run history in Edmonton. The pitch missing to Max Stagg. Silva comes back and misses with a 3-2 pitch for ball 4. Kind of a mixed bag for Ari tonight. 4 strikeouts, but he's issued his third walk. He had 2 last inning, and he's in some trouble again. He's had a lot of traffic to deal with in both the first 2 innings. Edmonton has scored in each of the first 2 innings. The Riverhawks lead at 2-1, and big Jason Green, the batter, with 2 on and 1 out in the top of the third. Knights shortstop Ryan Severance playing nearly behind the bag. Breaking ball to Jason Green misses. Jason drew a leadoff walk last inning. He ended up scoring the second run of the ball game on a wild pitch. So both runs slightly dubious. Ball lost in the sun, leading to the run in the first. A wild pitch to the run last inning. The 1-0 pitch to Jason Green, a slow tapper to the second baseman for the Knights. Tate Hammond between hops receives and plays the ball over to first. 2 down. On the play, Omar Gonzalez to third, Max Stagg to second, and Mitchell Middlemas, the batter, with once again Ari Silva doing what he can to minimize the scene here. He's given up a run in each of the first 2 innings, has a chance for a 0 here. Second and third, 2 down. The Riverhawks leading 2-1. Edmonton trying to get this series even. Silva from the stretch delivers, and the first pitch, fastball, misses up and away. Ball 1, 1-0. Ron Kittle, one of the more famous players in the history of Edmonton baseball, to be sure. The 1-0 fastball in there for a strike, and the count 1-1. And I mentioned last night my favorite Dodger ever, favorite baseball player ever, Fernando Valenzuela. Pitched for Edmonton and pitched in Portland before 17,000 in 1991. The 1-1 pitch swung on and missed, and the count 1-2. I imagine Al Coates. Al, you probably called that game, right? I did too, on the Portland Beavers side of things. But to see my hero in the flesh in an Edmonton Trapper uniform at Portland Civic Stadium, gave up a long home run to Bernardo Brito. It was just a thrill to see him. The 1-2 pitch from Knights left-hander Ari Silva misses high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 on and 2 out in the top of the third inning, and Edmonton leading 2-1. The right-hand hitting Mitchell Middlemas awaiting Ari Silva. Big pitch here, the 2-2 offering, foul back. Big in that Ari's doing all he can just to keep from the deficit growing. It's just a slim 1-run lead at the moment, but Middlemas, who had an infield single in his first at-bat, with a base hit, would put the visiting Riverhawks up 3. 2-2 to Mitchell. Silva to the plate, fastball taken, strike 3 called to retire the side. 2 more strikeouts for Knights left-hander Ari Silva. Edmonton fails to score this time around in the third. No runs, a hit, 2 left. We go to the bottom of the third inning. Edmonton 2, the Knights 1, back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
With the crew, where good vibes meet good times. Retro keys, vintage vibes, unlock your next adventure. Pope's got the hookup too. belly rubs included. Space to kick back, laugh out loud, and just be. Hit the pop shop for quick snacks and take in the moment, or just chill with your pup and soak up the good life. Stay original at Hotel Corvallis.
Bottom of the third inning, Edmonton leading the Corvallis Knights by a score of 2-1. Alan Gonzalez ready to go. Tonight's leadoff hitter Max Medina, who swings at the first pitch, hits it foul to the left and out of play. I'm going to ask a question live on the air that I hope my friends Violet and Michaela can answer as I talk through the bottom of the third. The Knights trailing 2-1. Max Medina, Ethan Porter, and Carter Stewart. Before the game tonight, the Corvallis Knights head coach Brooke Knight he had a Father's Day surprise when his son came out and threw out the ceremonial first pitch. Now, Violet earlier today, while we were bucking bales over on Riverside Drive for Jiffy and Jackson, who live at my friend Michaela and Violet's house, the Nelson's house in South Corvallis, the 1-1 pitch hit sharply to the second baseman, Matt Van Slyke. And so Van Slyke to first to get Max Medina, who had walked and scored in the first inning. Ethan Porter coming up. Violet came up with a pretty cool idea, said maybe we can surprise my dad and take him to the Knights game tonight. And you were going to have him keep his eyes closed and blindfolded. Did all of that happen? I mean, so did it happen that way and he didn't know where you were taking him? And when he opened his eyes, where was he? Like in the parking lot or what? Inside the ballpark? In the parking lot. Good idea. A great night before Father's Day gift. Nice idea, you guys. Thank you. The pitch to Ethan Porter swung on and fouled back. The 0-1 pitch, Ethan checks his swing and takes strike two. So a night of Father's Day Eve surprises here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Ethan Porter doubled to left in the first. Gonzalez strike two pitch. Ethan hits a high pop foul off first. Coming over is Max Stagg, and the ball will land in the lower grandstand below the Jack Riley concourse down the line. The count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Millie, if you're listening, I hope we're still on in early July with a great Beaver fan, but we need plenty of hay. Porter whacks one to deep left center field, moving over on the ball. Drew Veach to haul it in. 2 down, and Carter Stewart, who fouled out in the first inning, will be the batter. 2-1 Edmonton in the third. You know, I was mentioning with reference to the Gonzalez brothers who are out of Salinas. There's a phrase, and Robert, if you're listening tonight, maybe you, I've always been fascinated by the phrase used both in the film and in Steinbeck's classic, his magnum opus of Mice and Men. Carter Stewart, a high drive to deep center. Back goes Drew Veach. The ball carries over Drew's head to the base of the fence in dead center field, and Carter Stewart with a wallop to straightaway center field, nearly 400 feet from home plate. A 2-out double for Carter. Ian Draper, the batter. doing what would be called an honest day's work. Whatever this stuff is I'm engaged in, I don't know what you call it. I remember doing a whole 4-hour radio show in Portland once, finishing the show, leaving. It was out at a restaurant, did the 4 hours of show, walked off. A guy came up and said, Mike, I enjoyed the show. It was nice to be here and to listen to you. Then he said, what do you do for a living? The pitch on the way to Ian Draper. A high pop foul down the right field line and lands in the Arkansas triangle. Rounding third is Carter Stewart. He scores, and the Knights pull even at 2. Ian Draper, in this case, the difference between the Arkansas triangle and Omaha is this was a fair ball, and it lands between Max Stagg, Matt Van Slyke, and Mitchell Middlemas, and the Knights with a double and a base hit and pull even at 2. Zane Garvey will be the batter. Ian Draper with 2 runs batted in on the night. Zane Garvey drew a walk. So bucking grass, valley grass hay bales all day felt like, yeah, okay, that's honest work. That's real labor, right? My body feels like it was real work. Moving, I'm already moving like Uncle Joe, moving kind of slow. Not in Junction City or anywhere else. The pitch on the way to Zane Garvey misses just outside ball 1. But the line in Of Mice and Men, written by Steinbeck, with the Gonzalez brothers playing in this ball game out of Salinas, Steinbeck country, when George says, if I were smart, I wouldn't be bucking barley bales for my 50 and found. If I were really that smart, I wouldn't be bucking barley bales for my 50 and found. Wonderful expression. It strikes me as an expression of another era, because I've never heard anybody in my life say, yeah, I worked last year for my 50 and found at so-and-so. A throw to first, and back to the bag goes Ian Draper. A 2-2 tie in the bottom of the third. I assume it means place to live, shelter, dwelling place, my 50 and found. Another throw to first, and Ian Draper just does get back. The count remaining 1 ball and 1 strike to Zane Garvey. Good quick move by Alan Gonzalez. I love the expression, but I've never looked it up. I wouldn't be bucking barley bales for my 50 and found. Millie? Anybody? The 1-1 pitch. Garvey swings and hits it towards Waldo Hall off to the left and out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. With 2 outs, Carter Stewart hitting the base of the fence in dead center for a double, and comes home on a ball lost in the triangle between 3 defenders out in shallow right. Gonzalez another move over to first, and Ian Draper dives back. A 2-2 tie in the bottom of the third before a big crowd, and I imagine I've talked about a late arriving crowd, more late arrivals, partly because of what's coming after the game. Garvey swings and drives one to the gap in right center, but playable. Drew Veach moves over to make the catch, and the inning is over, but the Knights with 2 outs get a long double and a bloop single and pull even. A run on 2 hits, 1 left. At the end of 3, with a right-hander coming in for the Corvallis Knights. It's now the Edmonton Riverhawks 2 and the Knights 2. Back in 90 for our 50 and found on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Through 3 innings at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, Edmonton 2 runs, 4 hits, and 1 error. The Knights 2 runs, 3 hits, and no errors. The first pitch of the top of the 4th inning to Matt Van Slyke produces a little pop fly on the left side. Ian Draper ranges over and stays with the ball, bumps into shortstop Ryan Severns, but makes the catch. 1 away. 1 pitch, 1 gone. Drew Veach, the batter. The new pitcher for the Corvallis Knights. Right-hander coming into the ball game here in the top of the 4th inning. First pitch missing down and away, ball 1, or in there for a strike, pardon me, to Drew Veach. Camden Hartzell, a 1-hopper to short. Ryan Severns up with that. And Hartzell pitching to contact quickly has 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning in a 2-2 tie. And that'll bring to the plate Shidu Sato, the shortstop, who doubled and scored in the first and drew a walk in the 2nd inning. We're in the 4th of a 2-2 tie. Hartzell works out of the stretch with nobody on, breaking ball down and away. Now, one thing I haven't asked Camden about, and I'm saying Hartzell, but it could be Hartzell, Camden Hartzell. I'm just, people will talk about the Prime Minister as Churchill, not Churchill, Winston Churchill. When I say, what do I say? I say Winston Churchill, Winston Churchill. But some people just quickly, Winston Churchill, Churchill. Corvallis. The pitch missing in the count 1-1. Hartzell back to the plate and misses down and away. Ball 2, 2-1. I was glad to be corrected last night in our pregame interview by Jack Galanita, not Nida. The 2-1 pitch up and in from Camden Hartzell. Ball 3, 3-1. Camden 6'2", 205 out of Roseburg High School. And how about this one? Umpqua Community College. Now, I've heard it both ways, and I've actually called Umpqua, and I think it is Umpqua, not Umpqua, but I'm sure both ways work. But the young men out of Umpqua Community College to the plate. The 3-1 pitch is in there for a strike, and the count goes full to 3-2. 2 down, nobody on. In a good ball game before a big crowd on this Saturday night. The 2-2 pitch, 3-2 pitch, pardon me. Thank you, Violet. Outside, ball 4. Violet, did they give it to you? Thank you. 3 balls and 2 strikes. My friend Violet, who helped us buck bales, barley bales for the 50 and pound before we got to the ballpark tonight. Actually grass, valley grass, I think that's the right term. I know, I'm Oliver Douglas, Green Acres when it comes to all this stuff. The batter is Kotari Wakui, another very good at bat, and Sato with a late break goes and steals second. He's a good looking ball player, Shidao Sato. Now, my public address announcer here says that Sato told him that it's Shido, even though it's spelled S-H-I-R-Y-U, and he said he got it directly from the coach. Had said it was Shiryu or Shiru, or I wrote it down and then had to stand corrected from, according to our PA guy. No, I had Shiryu, but according to our PA man, it is Shidu. Okay. He steals second. He's a good-looking player, as I said. The pitch on the way to Kotari Wakui is in there for a strike to run the count 2-1 in this 2-2 tie. Committed now to the University of Hawaii, has played at Herkimer Community College. Out of Kangawaa, Japan. A little looping fly ball down the left field line. It'll drop for a base hit. And Shidu comes in to score on a bloop double to left. And Edmonton it's hard to keep them down. They score another run and regain the lead on Katari Wakui's opposite field kind of bloop double down the left field line. With 2 outs, and Camden Hartzell recorded them quickly, just as the Knights with 2 outs rose up for a run in the bottom of the third. Here, 2 quick outs, a walk, a stolen base, and a double for Wakui, who is now 2 for 3. Edmonton with the lead back at 3-2. Chris Parkin, the batter. Camden Hartzell out of the stretch. The pitch on the way, breaking ball outside, ball 1, 1-0. One ball and no strikes, the count to Parkin, who is a sacrifice fly and struck out looking. 3-2 Edmonton in the fourth. Hartzell to the plate, delivers a strike, and the count 1-1. Good ball game, but a little bit on the frustrating side, I think, for the Knights, and that they just been having difficulty kind of finding traction, their stride, their usual style of play, and they've been in some really competitive games where they can't quite seem to, like here, a ground ball base hit into center field. Kotari Wakui will score, and it's just been that kind of summer thus far for the Knights. 1 step forward, a couple of steps back, and here, after pulling even at 2, they now trail again by 2 runs, 4-2. Chris Parkin having a good series. An RBI single to center. Katara Wakui scores, and Omar Gonzalez, who has struck out and singled to left, will come to the plate. First pitch is in there for a strike to Omar Gonzalez. 0-1 the count. Omar has struck out looking and singled to left field. 4-2 Edmonton. The Riverhawks, after 2 outs, get a walk, a double, a base hit, and have a 2-run lead again. Camden Hartzell swings and misses. Thanks, Paige. No balls and 2 strikes the count to Gonzalez. Omar also out of Salinas and Palma High School. No balls and 2 strikes. Breaking ball, he tried to hold up, it goes around. Strike 3, 2 down, or 3, that's 3 away. The inning is over. With 2 outs and nobody on, the Riverhawks rise up for 2 to regain a 2-run lead. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left. And at the end of 3.5, Edmonton 4, the Knights 2, back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Over at the top of section F, we have Undondo, the Catalyst Psychiatry nonprofit of the game. Are you struggling with treatment-resistant depression?
Rolling with the crew for good vibes meet good times. Retro keys, vintage vibes, unlock your next adventure. Pope's got the hookup too, belly rubs included. Space to kick back, laugh out loud, and just be. Hit the pop shop for quick snacks and take in the moment, or just chill with your pup and soak up the good life. Stay original at Hotel Corvallis.
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow.
Shortstop from UC Santa Barbara, number 28, Ryan Severns.
2 Edmonton, bottom of the 4th inning. Ryan Severns takes the first pitch. from Riverhawk right-hander Alan Gonzalez, a fastball for a strike. 0-1 the count. Ryan Severns, Maverick Russell, and Joey Morosco for the Knights. The 0-1 pitch, fastball on the outside corner. Nice job by Alan Gonzalez, moving the ball in and out, and he's jumped ahead. No balls and 2 strikes to Severns, who flied to left in the first. 4-2 Edmonton, bottom of the fourth. The strike 2 pitch lifted into shallow center field, coming in a hurry, sprawling out to make the catch, Drew Veach. Nice grab, 1 away. Maverick Russell will come to the plate. Maverick a comebacker to Alan Gonzalez in the second. Alan working with battery mate Jason Green. Around the infield, Max Stagg at first, Matt Van Slyke at second, Shido Sato at short, Chris Parkin at third, Kotaro Wakui in left, Drew Veach in center, Mitchell Middlemas in right. Gonzalez delivers, slider for a strike, good looking pitch. 0-1 the count, no balls and 1 strike, and good ball game for Alan Gonzalez and for the visiting Edmonton Riverhawks. Maverick takes low and inside, 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Gonzalez pitching at the University of San Francisco. Maverick a big rip, fouls it back. 1-2 the count. I have not invoked Urchin Alley tonight. There's not been a single ball into the alley proper. That ball off the bat of the left-hand hitting Maverick Russell went over the McGrath family press box into the entry area to Goss, but no foul balls have been hit into the alley yet. Ground ball back up the middle, fielded by Sato near the bag. Shido throws to first, and Maverick Russell retired. 2 down, Joey Morosco, the batter. Joey flied to center field in the second. Gonzalez appeared in 19 games for the Dons this past spring and had good numbers. An ERA of 4.79, and certainly one can see the Division I quality to his strong right arm. He's pitched well. 2 outs, nobody on in the fourth. Joey Morosco takes a strike. 0-1 the count. Joey flied to center field in the second. 4-2 Edmonton in the fourth. No balls and 1 strike. The 0-1 pitch, fastball, knee high, strike 2. And again, in keeping with the Candlestickian spirit, it's not quite on the same level as some of those miserable nights at the Stick in the day. But Brook Knight has his jacket on. Marcus Matias still fighting that in his uniform without a jacket, coaching at first. The strike 2 pitch fouled back by Joey Morosco. 0-2 the count. 5:05 tomorrow should be a pleasant evening. Father's Day, play catch with Dad on the field after the game. The strike 2 pitch missing down and in, and the count 1-2. In Omaha in 2017, I was able to play catch on Father's Day with my daughter Lydia at the College World Series. The pitch to Morosco, a high pop fly into shallow left field. The shortstop, Shido Sato, out, makes the catch. He had a couple of guys surrounding him and comes off the field with a big smile on his face. Good play in the wind and a strong inning for Alan Gonzalez. The Knights go in order in the fourth. After 4, Edmonton 4 and the Knights 2 back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
No matter what team you're on, no matter where you explore, there's a Richardson for you. We don't just give you our word. We give you our name. We started over 50 years ago as a hometown sporting goods business with a particular devotion to America's pastime. As we grew, so did demand for our products, both on and off the field of play. Today we serve teams, brands, and businesses, and we've earned our reputation as the best. We did it through our devotion to our craft and our customers. We've built our business on the spirit of competition and the thrill of adventure, with a relentless focus on details and an enduring commitment to quality in every stitch. We've set a high bar for ourselves because you've made our team part of your team. And your team deserves the best.
Max Stagg, Jason Green, and Mitchell Middlemas, the scheduled hitters for Edmonton, top of the 5th inning. 4-2 Riverhawks. Right-hander Camden Hartzell to the plate and misses high and inside to Max. Ball 1-0. Max has flied to right and walked. Camden comes back with a 1-0 pitch, delivers a strike, 1-1 the count. The Riverhawks with a run in the first, a run in the second, 2 in the fourth. Trying to get this series even, and if so, the Knights would be even again. Drop to 10-10. Cue ball up along first, and it will roll foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Max Stagg. His fellow countryman, if you didn't hear, I mentioned it earlier, it was announced over the PA. Travis Pizzana had his best day as a big leaguer today. The former Corvallis Knight superstar, former Oregon State great, and 1-1 pick by the Guardians in the 24 draft. Travis Pizzana went 4 for 4 today for the Guardians in Houston, an 8-1 Guardians win. Travis 4 for 4, 2 homers, 5 runs batted in. Wow. So happy for a great young man. Breaking ball missing, 2-2 the count to Max Stagg, leading things off for Edmonton. The 2-2 pitch, a little low and in, ball 3, 3-2. Corey Jean Galvin is coming into the ballpark here. Hey, KJ. She has been coming to Knights games with her parents, but mainly with Grandpa Jim over the years. The 3-2 pitch down and away. Ball 4. Jim was maybe the greatest Knights fan, baseball fan, one of the greatest people I ever had the pleasure of knowing. I considered him my radio friend. He would come to all of our Joe Beaver road shows locally and gave me, when Oppenheimer was hot, he gave me I was talking about Oppenheimer one night on the air and the movie was coming out, and he shows up at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field and gives me a copy of the book Oppenheimer. That's the kind of guy he was. If I talked about the night sky and trying to go out and see constellations or the Perseid meteor shower, he'd come the next day with printed out articles about the best viewing places and what stars would be visible on certain nights. Jim Galvin, just a great man, and we lost him, I can't remember, almost 2 years now. And last year, I remember it was a poignant moment when I saw Jim's family coming in without Jim, and I wasn't aware that Jim's health had declined. I knew that maybe he was not doing as well, but he had declined, but he was still calling the show occasionally and showing up at our radio shows. So when I saw the Galvan family come in here last year and without him, I knew, please don't tell me, and they did tell me the news. Bo Kern's out for a visit with Camden Hartzell. Camden comes back to the plate and delivers a strike to Jason Green, 1-1 the count. But no one came to more games than Jim did here, and he would sit alongside with his transistor radio, an old-fashioned transistor radio with a little earphone in. The 1-1 pitch is high, ball 2, 2-1. We would converse between innings, sometimes between pitches, sometimes during the game. Jim would occasionally look up and either affirm something I said or look at me askance like, did you really mean that? The 2-1 pitch, but for the most part, it was just so much love and support and interest in what was going on with the Knights and the Beavers through all those years. I miss him greatly, but his family is here tonight. They said they make an annual trip now. KJ, Corey Jean, has been coming to games since the Knights began playing ball here in 2007. So it's incredible. And she sent me a picture. The pitch on the way, Jason Green takes low and in, ball 4. Back-to-back walks issued by Camden Hartzell to open the 5th with the Knights trailing 4-2. A 2-year-old Corey Jean in the arms of her grandfather, Jim. And I've been sent that picture here tonight. Thank you so much. It's just such a, it's hard to imagine. I know KJ's grown up in this ballpark every summer since the summer of 2007. That's all of her life, really. The pitch is bunted foul up along third by Mitchell Middlemas. No balls and a strike, and so I appreciate you sending the photograph and for being here tonight in your grandfather's honor. Love you guys, and thanks for being here. This is a place I know Jim spent many a wonderful summer night as a huge fan of the Corvallis Knights, and so it's great to see the Galvan family in the ballpark again tonight in his, certainly his spirit and his love in their hearts. 0-1 the count to Mitchell Middlemas with Max Stagg at second, Jason Green at first, nobody out. The bunt is on. I think he may pull back and slash. Nope, he leaves the bunt out and he gets a great bunt down. It'll be a base hit on a perfect drag bunt from Middlemas. The bases loaded, nobody out. I mean, you can't roll it out by hand any better than what Mitchell Middlemas just did. Ostensibly up there to sacrifice. Drag bunts his way for a base hit. Bases loaded, nobody out. Edmonton already leading 4-2, and the Riverhawks have a chance to kind of bust things open a little bit here in the top of the 5th with Matt Van Slyke, the batter. Camden Hartzell carries on. Bases loaded, nobody out. The right-hander to the plate, down and away, ball 1, 1-0. One ball and no strikes the count. The Knights infield at double play depth. There's nobody out in the inning with the sacks full. Activity will begin behind Hartzell, whose breaking ball drops in for a strike. The count 1-1. There was that sense in visiting with Trey Swigert before the game and other members of the Knights that the Knights were just about ready to kind of get on a roll, as they so often have through all of the summers that Corey Jean and the Galvan family and other Knights fans have enjoyed. Never having missed the playoffs, having won 10 championships in their first 18 years of existence. Breaking ball in there for a strike, and the count 1-2. These have been unprecedented sort of times so far this summer. 1-2 breaking ball rolled slowly foul up along third. The count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes to Matt Van Slyke. This year, everything has been kind of just a tough grind and slog. And so the Knights beginning the night at 10-9. As Brooks Hatch pointed out, he doesn't have it, looked up per se on the record, but he just said, I know this late into the season, the Knights have never been at or below 500. They're 1 game up, but trailing this one. An infield fly rule will be invoked here with Matt Van Slyke popping one up. Shortstop Ryan Severns moves back a couple of steps behind the bag to make the catch. 1 away. Drew Veach will be the hitter, with Camden Hartzell trying to get himself out of some real trouble here in the 5th. It's 4-2 Edmonton. But they have a chance now still to get a run home with an out. The Knights infield at double play depth trying to get out of the inning. The pitch on the way to Veach, down and away, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes the count. Shido Satow on deck. Satow's been a thorn in the Knights' side. Drew Veach 0 for 2 is popped to second and grounded to short. Bases loaded, 1 out. Breaking ball way outside. Ball 2, 2-0. Camden making his 5th overall appearance coming into the outing tonight. 9 innings, 15 hits. 10 walks and 10 strikeouts. 2 balls and no strikes to Drew Veach. Camden delivers a line drive into left field, base hit. Max Stagg will score. Jason Green into third, and Edmonton leads it 5-2 on the RBI single for Drew Veach. So the hard times continue for the Corvallis Knights. Good piece of hitting by Drew. Drew out of Andover, Kansas, a couple of years at Johnson County Community College in Overland Park. And a really good season this past spring at Central Missouri. An RBI single here for Drew. Shido Sato, the batter. Sato takes a breaking ball a little bit high, ball 1. He opened the game by hitting the ball in a perfect spot. A line drive into the path of the sun. Zane Garvey no longer dealing with the sun now, but was back in the first inning and completely lost it. The ball came in for a double. The 1-0 pitch up and in, ball 2, 2-0. Sato ended up scoring. Then in the second, he walked. In the fourth, he walked and stole a base and scored a run. 2 balls and no strikes to Shido. Bases loaded, 1 out, 5-2 Edmonton. Hartzell to the plate, fastball knee high for a strike, in the count 2-1. Garvey simply lost the ball out in left. No play, there was nobody on. It opened the game. Lou Piniella, maybe his finest hour as a ball player, was in the classic playoff game in '78. The 2-1 pitch, a check swing on appeal, no swing for Sato. He is a pitch away from drawing his 3rd walk and getting an RBI to boot. 3-1 the count to Shido. Piniella in the classic 1-game playoff in '78, Deke Jerry Remy. He lost a ball in the sun, acted like he knew where it was. When he had no idea where it was, it landed by him at his feet. The 3-1 pitch, ball 4. That forces in a run. The Knights trail it 6-2 with Jason Green coming down the line to score. Sato having a great ball game, and Edmonton in command of this ball game. 6-2 Riverhawks. Bases remain loaded. Kotari Wakui is the batter. And Brooke Knight is going to make a move here now and go to the bullpen. 3 walks in the inning. 6 walks issued in the ballgame by Knights pitching. They've just been a little bit off their usual high standard, and it has made for one of the toughest weeks that I can recall in a season with the Corvallis Knights. Brooke has made the call to the pen in visiting with Camden Hartzell. Piniella, the Red Sox might have won that game, but Lou, and won the pennant in '78, and the curse of the Bambino might have ended sooner. '78, 14.5 game lead, blew the pennant, ended up losing that game, a heartbreaker at the Fens, October 2nd of 1978. But the key play of the game might have been Lou losing a ball in the sun, but acted like he knew where it was, and so Jerry Remy didn't score. Had to stop at third, only picked up 90 feet, and the Red Sox didn't win. A new pitcher coming in, a call to the bullpen goes out, brought to you by Wilson Motors. We'll take a 90-second pitching change break. Edmonton has opened up a 6-2 lead and threatening to do more. Bases loaded, 1 out, 2 runs in, 6-2 Edmonton back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
No matter what team you're on, no matter where you explore, there's a Richardson for you. We don't just give you our word, we give you our name. We started over 50 years ago as a hometown sporting goods business, with a particular devotion to America's pastime. As we grew, so did demand for our products, both on and off the field of play. Today we serve teams, brands, and businesses, and we've earned our reputation as the best. We did it through our devotion to our craft and our customers. We've built our business on the spirit of competition and the thrill of adventure. with a relentless focus on details and an enduring commitment to quality in every stitch. We've set a high bar for ourselves because you've made our team part of your team. And your team deserves the best.
Brandon Salveson is a new pitcher for the Corvallis Knights and trying to pitch the Knights out of some real difficulty. They've already given up 2 runs and trail at 6-2. His first pitch fastball to the left-hand hitting Kotaro Wakui misses inside, ball 1-0. The Knights continue to play their infield at double play depth. 6-2 Edmonton in the 5th. Fastball outside from Landon, ball 2, 2-0. Salveson making his 6th appearance. The lefty comes set. The 2-0 pitch inside, ball 3, 3-0. He's worked 8 2/3, 11 hits and 11 walks, 8 strikeouts, and he is a pitch away from issuing a free pass to the first hitter that he encounters with the bases loaded. Wakui awaits. The 3-0 pitch on the way. Fastball high, ball 4. Things we haven't seen much over the summers. We're seeing more of this week than I can ever recall. Just an inordinate number of walks, and it's interesting to me because it's a really talented roster, a good roster, a bunch of fine young men again. Bo Kern says the amount of care, the care factor, the commitment, wanting to be better is as a high a level as he's had since he's been here. But things just haven't gone well for the Knights quite yet in the summer of 2026. They're down 7-2 with Mitchell Mittelmus scoring on the bases loaded walk to Wakui. The first pitch to Chris Parkin is high. The 1-0 pitch. The 1-0 pitch missing high for ball 2, 2-0 to Chris Parkins. Landon looking to throw his first strike since coming on. Bases loaded, 1 out. The 2-0 pitch, a strike, and the count 2-1. Parkin taking all the way. Chris has had a good ball game and a good series. A sacrifice fly in the first, struck out in the third, an RBI single in the fourth. Up there with the bases loaded in the 5th, and Edmonton stretching the lead now to 7-2. Landon comes back to the plate. Fastball fouled back. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Chris Parkin. Parkin with a chance to really blow it open right here in this at-bat. 2 balls and 2 strikes with the sacks full. Salveson delivers and misses outside. The count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The 3-2 pitch outside, ball 4. Another bases loaded walk. The Knights trail at 8-2. Down the line to score is Drew Veach. And things we have not seen on this wise. We're seeing once again tonight Omar Gonzalez, the batter. The Knights had a ball game against Marion to begin the week on Monday, wherein they walked 13 and hit 5 in a 13-3 defeat. And that certainly felt like the outlier. The Knights had just won the series in Bend to improve to 8-4 on the year. And starting this ball game tonight at 10-9. The first pitch a strike and the count 0-1 to Omar, who swings and misses at the 0-1 pitch. Gonzalez, the 9th man to come to the plate in the inning. 5 walks issued by Knights pitching in the inning. No balls and 2 strikes the count. Missy was just up here looking for you. She set all the blankets down right over there. The strike 2 fastball just outside, and the count 1-2. Yes, right there. 1 ball and 2 strikes. A load of blankets being brought in on this candlestickian night, and I had to direct the youngsters as to where they were. The 1-2 pitch on the way, fastball up and away, ball 2, 2-2. The joys of sitting outside the McGrath family press box, which I'd much rather be doing than inside. The hot summer nights that we normally get, no, it's just not fun to be in there. Would much rather be out here as I have since the summer of '07. The 2-2 pitch on the way, a line drive caught by Ryan Severns at short, 2 down. And the Knights fans certainly accustomed to seeing other teams come in and have the types of issues the Knights are having in their own ballpark. It's usually the other guy experiencing them, but not tonight. 8-2 Edmonton in the top of the 5th inning. And now the guy who got it all started, Max Stagg, by drawing a walk, takes ball 1, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch hit foul off to the right. This will carry off the facade of Dixon Rec and back down into Urchin Alley. And the Urchins, Violet, are giving wild chase, and I'm telling Violet, my hay-bucking friend, to take a look. 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1 pitch catches the outside corner. The winds are whipping up again, so she has just handed me a blanket, has young Violet, and I'm grateful for it. 1-2, 2 down. 4 runs in a really kind of miserable inning for the Knights, no matter how you cut it. Salveson looking for the final out, delivers a 1-2 pitch tapped up along third, foul. The count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Max Stagg is the 10th man to come up in the inning, which has featured 5 walks and a couple of hits and 4 runs on the board. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. 8-2 Edmonton. Looks like we'll be looking at a rubber match tomorrow at 5:05 in the series finale. The 1-2 pitch just outside, ball 2, 2-2. The left-hander Landon Salveson shakes off his battery mate Carter Stewart. Now comes set with the bases loaded and 2 down. The 2-2 pitch on the way, pulled, foul into the Corvallis Knights dugout area. The guy's hanging over the railing. I think it hit the fence and not a player, but that got there in a hurry, eliciting a collective ooh from the crowd here. A good crowd, a crowd growing ever chillier in this, the wind picking up again in these middle innings. The 2-2 pitch is chopped foul. And the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes with the bases loaded and 2 down and 4 runs in for the visiting Edmonton Riverhawks. Max has flied to right and walked twice. Salveson from the stretch. The 2-2 pitch on the way to Max, blooped into shallow center field. That'll drop for a base hit. 2 more runs will score, and Edmonton has busted it wide open with a 6-run frame and leading it 10-2 on the 2-run single to center. Shido Satow coming in to score along with Kotaro Wakui. Chris Parkin stops at second. And that'll bring Jason Green to the plate, who walked and scored earlier. The Knights are having their second game this week where they're just sort of out of it. Right? I mean, they lost 13-3 to Marion on Monday, trailed this one 10-2. And so it's going to be interesting. That's about the only way I can look at it. Jason Green taking a breaking ball outside, ball 1-0. It's not as though it's a birthright that the Knights start a season and will be in the playoffs. The pitch to Green is ripped into right field for a base hit. Wakui will stop at third. Good job by Morosco to fire. Parkin will stop at third, getting the ball back in. Jason Green rips a base hit to right to reload the bases. And Mitchell Middlemas will be the hitter, and Brook Knight is on his way out to the mound. What I mean by all of that is going to be interesting, and I don't mean that just euphemistically. I don't mean it even in any wise hyperbolically or what. I think the Knights are going to figure this out, and I think they're going to get better and start winning a bunch of games. I do. I still believe it, just based on the roster composition, based on the history of the organization, the quality of coaching and players that come in and year out. So what'll be interesting to sort of for me to see is when that will begin to take shape. They began the year 5-4, and I thought, okay, here they go. They were 5-4. They took the first two games of the series against Marion, went over to Bend, won the series in Bend, and I thought, okay, they're on their way again. But began this week at home at 9-6, are now 10-9, and trail this ball game here in the bottom of the top of the fifth inning, 10-2. And so the fans hanging around aren't so much hanging around out of sheer belief that the Knights are going to come back, but the fact that they're going to get rewarded with a big drone light show spectacular when the game ends. The Knights turn to the bullpen. Jack Alanita will come in. We'll be back in 90 seconds. 10-2 Edmonton, back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
No matter what team you're on, no matter where you explore, there's a Richardson for you. We don't just give you our word. We give you our name. We started over 50 years ago as a hometown sporting goods business, with a particular devotion to America's pastime. As we grew, so did demand for our products, both on and off the field of play. Today we serve teams, brands, and businesses, and we've earned our reputation as the best. We did it through our devotion to our craft and our customers. We've built our business on the spirit of competition and the thrill of adventure, with a relentless focus on details and an enduring commitment to quality in every stitch. We've set a high bar for ourselves because you've made our team part of your team. And your team.
Jack Alanita into the ball game back at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The bases loaded, a ground ball to short. Ryan Severn's throw pulls Ethan Porter off the bag, and it's an error on Severn's, and Brook Knight is in a rather foul mood. He gets the base umpire, Bryce Reeves, who made the call, to see if he could get help from Jackson Clark to see if Porter maintained contact with first, but I don't think Ethan did. I think it is a throwing error, and I think the call is correct. And the runner is indeed safe at first base, and Chris Parkin comes down the line to score. The Knights trail at 11-2, an error on Middlemas, and the only thing the inning had not really featured yet was a miscue in the field for the Knights. But now we have one of those too, so it's just another one of those nights for the Corvallis Knights, in which there have been more of this year than I can ever recall in the previous summers with Knights baseball, going back to 2007. The first pitch to Matt Van Slyke is in there for a strike. 0-1 the count, top of the 5th. 7 runs across for the Riverhawks, who lead it 11-2. Breaking ball stroke to right center field for a base hit. 2 more runs will score. Max Medina gathers the ball and throws it back in. A 2-run single for Matt Van Slyke, and Edmonton leads it 13-2. With Max Stagg and Jason Green coming in to score. Mitchell Middlemas into third. A 9-run inning, 13-2 Edmonton. And I honestly, home or away, I've never uttered such words. A 9-run inning against the Knights. 13-2 Riverhawks here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, much to the astonishment of this good crowd. Drew Veach takes a strike, 0-1 the count. Drew has popped a second, grounded short earlier in the inning, an RBI single to left. The strike 1 pitch, swung on and missed. Alanita ahead of the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Looking forward to finding out a little bit more about Jack Alanita's mom's career in the music video business, a producer of music videos. Strike 2, breaking ball down and in. At some point, will look her up online, and I think she has. I think Jack said she has her own IMDb page. Jack himself, he said, might even follow her footsteps in that career. The 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. The inning is over. An ordeal of an inning, to be sure, for the Knights, one that we've seen very few of from them in their distinguished history. So it's a proud team, a proud organization. They'll do their best to kind of hang in the fight tonight, but it's likely that we are heading towards a rubber game tomorrow, where once again the Knights will hope to have found themselves, because they find themselves in a big deficit for the second time this week. They lost 13-3 on Monday. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning tonight after a 9-run frame. It's Edmonton 13 and the Knights 2, back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Get your tickets now at Corvallis.com. The second baseman from UCLA, number 10, Tate Hammond.
Tate Hammond to lead things off for the Knights in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Knights trailing Edmonton 13-2. Tate struck out on his first at-bat. Alan Gonzalez missing with the first pitch, comes back with a 1-0 offering in there for a strike. 1-1 the count. Just had a nice visit up here in the press box area. I sit outside of it. Alex Yarrow came by to say hello. The 1-1 pitch just inside. Ball 2, 2-1. Alex is a presence at this ballpark and has been, like young KJ that I mentioned earlier. Alex has been coming to Knights games since he was very little. but he said that his grandmother is listening tonight in Monroe. So Grandma Sandy in Monroe, thanks for listening. And your grandson Alex is a true delight to see in this ballpark. Lo these many summers. Tate Hammond swings at the 2-1 pitch. A ground ball base hit to right field. Max Medina will come to the plate for the Knights. Max walked and scored back in the first inning. He ended up scoring the tying run on an RBI ground out for Ian Draper. The Knights' other run compliments of Ian, an RBI single. That accounts for the Knights' runs. It would take too much of the evening to account for the 13 for the other guy. The pitch on the way to Max Medina hit foul off third. No balls and a strike. Ethan Porter on deck. 13-2 Edmonton with a drone light show when the ball game is over. The pitch to Medina, stroke to center, but right at Drew Veach. A throw back into first, a poor throw that goes over the head of the first baseman Max Stagg, and Tate Hammond picks up an extra 90. Drew Veach had an idea. He saw that Tate Hammond had strayed quite a bit between first and second, and Veach tried to throw him out, but overthrew Stagg. Hammond into second base, and Ethan Porter, the batter, on the throwing error from center fielder Drew Veach. Ethan Porter has doubled to left and flied to center. 13 runs, 11 hits for Edmonton. 2 runs, 4 hits for the Knights. Porter, a ground ball sharply back of third. Backhanded by Parkin. He throws a one-hopper across the diamond. Backhanded by Max Stagg. 2 down, holding at second base, Tate Hammond. Ian Draper will come to the plate. Carter Stewart, pardon me, with Ian Draper on deck. Carter has fouled out and doubled home a run. Alan Gonzalez has gone all the way. The right-hander delivers. Carter swings and fouls it back. Carter's double, again, back in a time where the ball game was very much a ball game. With 2 outs and nobody on in the bottom of the third, Carter ripped a ball to dead center, nearly 400 feet on the fly. Ended up scoring on Ian Draper's base hit, and that tied this contest at 2. Edmonton, suffice it to say, has untied it. 13-2 Riverhawks in the bottom of the 5th. The strike one pitch in the turf, good snag by Jason Green. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Gonzalez needing 1 more out to qualify for the win that he will surely get. He delivers and misses down and in. Ball 2. 2-1. Under the lights at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field on a cooling Saturday night. I see, just looking around, just on saying that, several people donning their next layer. My wife bringing blankets for Violet and Michaela. And they are putting them around themselves just to my right, as indeed it cools off again. The 2-1 pitch to Carter Stewart, up and away, ball 3. 3-1. Alan Gonzalez will work from the stretch, glances back at Tate Hammond. The 3-1 pitch is high, ball 4. Carter Stewart drawing the walk, bringing Ian Draper to the plate. Ian has 2 runs batted in his first 2 plate appearances. Looking for another RBI ground out and RBI single. 13-2 Edmonton. You know, we mentioned, and I have both nights, last night more so, although it is getting there, candlestickian in nature. It's cooling off again. The wind howling a lot more last night at this time than now. The pitch on the way is high and away to Draper, ball 1, 1-0. It is a story. that I've only read kind of bits and pieces of in the history of the Giants and why the ballpark was placed where it was on Candlestick Point when the land was being surveyed and reviewed and purchased and so on in 1960. The Giants playing their first couple of years at Seals Stadium and then opened at Candlestick Park. The day they went to visit, I get, oh, hey, it's a beautiful warm day. It looks great. Yeah, we'll take it. The 2-0 pitch, a strike, and the count 2-1. They went on a beautiful warm day, evidently, in the Bay Area to Candlestick Point. No wind, sunny, warm. Oh, yeah, what a bucolic spot. Yeah, we'll put it right here. They didn't do enough studies. Can you believe that? A ballpark? I mean, now it seems like it would be you would do nothing but sort of climate studies and so on to make sure you were in the right place, you know, with respect to the sun and the wind and all of that. But the way it almost reads in Giants history, the pitch to Draper pulled foul outside of third, and those of you who are longtime Giants fans probably know the story, chapter and verse, far better than yours truly. But the sense I got is the City Fathers went out on a warm day, a throw to first, and that should be a balk on the throw with the first base not being, Max Stagg was not holding the runner on, and it took a while for the umpires to get to it, but it is a balk. Not quite a balk like Stu Miller being blown off the mound in the All-Star game and called for a balk at Candlestick Park. But the balk sends Tate Hammond to third and Carter Stewart to second. But, okay, well, you know, we got a beautiful piece of land. Okay, here we go. Hey, let's drive out there and look at it. Warm, sunny day. Yeah, we'll take it. I'm sure there's more to it than that. But they didn't go out there at night in the nights of misery at the stick. We're feeling a little bit of that tonight. A 2-2 pitch, a blooper into left field, base hit. Some of it alleviated coming down the line to score is Tate Hammond on a bloop single to left field for Ian Draper. And how about Ian's night? He's been up 3 times and has 3 runs batted in. Tate Hammond coming down the line to score. Carter Stewart stops at third base, and Zane Garvey will be the batter with runners at first and third and 2 down, and the Knights now trailing 13-3. You think about the career of the greatest ball player, and my apologies to James Morosco, but the greatest all-time baseball player ever, Willie Mays. How many home runs he had knocked down by the wind at Candlestick. He ended up with 660 had he stayed in his entire career in the Polo Grounds or even played where the Giants play now down in McCovey Cove. Willie would have gotten to 700, would have passed Henry before, the Bay before Henry did. It was a very unkind yard for Willie Mays and his power. The 1-0 pitch is high, ball 2, 2-0. 13-3 Edmonton. The Knights with runners at the corners and 2 down. Zane Garvey swings and pulls one foul in front of the Edmonton dugout. 2 balls and a strike to Zane Garvey. Ryan Severns on deck. Carter Stewart at third, Ian Draper at first. The blanket nearly just blew off of my person, so the winds are picking up. The 2-1 pitch to Zane swung on and missed, and the count 2-2. First and third, 2 down, all 3 runs for the Knights driven in by Ian Draper. Ian held on by Max Stagg, a little surprised at that with the 10-run lead. The pitch on the way, sliced down the left field line. It'll drop foul. In pursuit, Kotaro Wakui, but a foul ball. And Zane Garvey will come back and try it again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on and 2 out. Bottom of the 5th, the Knights down 10 runs. I talked to Trey Swigert before the game about winning and the team being all in on winning, and he didn't go nuke Lelouch and say, hey, I really love this winning, you know, like it's better than losing. No, not quite that, but he said winning helps you get better as a player. The 2-2 pitch is high, ball 3, and he's right. I mean, that's an insightful thing to say in terms of it's not just because winning's more fun, but in developing, which all these guys, of course, are attempting to do, the ability to win and finding different ways to win helps you improve your own overall game as a player. 3-2 pitch to Zane Garvey, hit foul off third. Chris Parkin coming over near the Knights dugout and drops the ball in front of the Knights dugout. A long, tough run for Chris, who gathers the baseball and kind of pats his own chest quickly to his teammate Alan Gonzalez like, I'm sorry, I should have caught it. It wasn't an easy chance. He has flashed the leather impressively in this series so far, but did not make the catch there. The Knights trailing 13-3 in the bottom of the 5th. Zane Garvey awaits. The right-hander Alan Gonzalez to the plate. A fly ball to center field and playable for Drew Veach, who moves in and under to make the catch. And the Knights settle for 1 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 1 run on 2 hits. And at the end of 5, 13-3 Edmonton. Back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Welcome. We're looking to switch and heard about OCCU. In 20 words, what makes OCCU different?
OCCU has free interest-earning checking, high-yield savings, and a community focus.
That's only 11.
We're the credit union with duck and beaver cards.
Sounds like OCCU has a lot to offer.
OCCU has been around for 70 years. We've learned a thing or two.
Switch to OCCU. Apply online at myoccu.org or at your local branch.
Leading off the 6th inning for the Riverhawks, the shortstop, number 1, Shu Sato.
Top of the 6th inning, the Knights trailing Edmonton 13-3. Jack Galanita delivers, and the first pitch to Shido Sato misses for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch punched wide of third, fielded by Ian Draper. His throw pulls Ethan Porter off the bag. So both infielders on the left side have had chances to get outs, and their throws have missed. It'll be an error on Ian Draper. At least I think it'll be an error on Draper. It hasn't gone up on the board yet. His throw pulling Porter off. He did a good job to get to the ball, and indeed is an error on Draper. Kotaro Wakui, the batter. First pitch, fastball high, ball 1, 1-0. Top of the 6th inning. The Knights trailing 13-3. Jack Galanita from the stretch and to the plate and misses low and in. Ball 2, 2-0. Now it's also, you know, we talk about Willie might have been the first to pass the Bambino had he played in a hitter-friendlier park. Sato goes. I'm a little surprised at that. The throw to second, and he's out at second. It's the 6th inning. It's a 10-run game. Sato trying to steal is thrown out. Excellent throw by Carter Stewart down to Ryan Severns. 1 away. And Kotaro Wakui, the batter. a very rational and strong argument could be made that even before, the pitch to Wakui is ball 4. And Chris Parkin will come to the plate. That Teddy ballgame, Ted Williams, losing nearly 5 full seasons, not completely, but close to 5 full seasons in his prime to World War II and the Korean War conflict. Never have been quite exactly sure what the proper verbiage is for that. The pitch missing high and inside, ball 1, 1-0. But Teddy, 4.5 seasons in the prime of his life, indeed. And I do think he would have gotten to, he would have stayed around longer, been in that 700 vicinity with home runs, and would have stayed around longer to surpass the Babe before Willie and Henry did. I think that would have happened without that. The 1-1 pitch, a strike, and the count 1-2. So difficult to know, and it is true that it was Henry, April 8th of '74, who in my mind is the true home run king, and I'll just leave it at that with 755. There's another number that's higher, difficult for me to fully accept it. The 1-2 pitch is low, ball 2, and I hope that's true for you, even if you're the most ardent of Giants fans, right? There is a taint there, right? Oh, no, you can't. Okay, whatever, I get it. I know it's a controversial subject, but for me, 755 still rules. The 2-2 pitch hit high in the air to left and pretty deep, but playable. Still going back, and Zane Garvey not able to make the catch. Then the ball bounces up and goes over the fence. And just the night of misery continues for the Corvallis Knights. Garvey, I thought, had it all the way, and I think he did too. He lost a ball in the sun to open the game. Here, the wind did push it. We're talking about Candlestickian winds. Brooks Hatch has a decision to make about the scoring on this play. Garvey got back to the warning track and left. The wind did keep pushing the baseball, and Brooks hasn't put up on the board yet exactly what his decision as the official score is. It will be an error, and I think that's the right call. A 2-base error, and fortunately for the Knights, the ball did bound over the fence after it went off the glove of Garvey out in left field. 2 errors in the inning. And runners at second and third, and 1 out for Omar Gonzalez, who takes ball 1. The 1-0 pitch, a slider for a strike, and the count 1-1. Brooks Hatch calling E7 on the fly ball to left. Brook Knight bringing his infield in. 13-3, top of the 6th inning. Fastball from Galanita, swung on and missed, and the count 1-2. Katari Wakui at third, Chris Parkin at second. The 1-2 slider taken, strike 3 called. Omar Gonzalez doesn't think so. 2 down in the inning. Max Stagg, the batter. Edmonton scored a run in the first, a run in the second, a goose egg in the third, but 2 in the fourth, 9 in the fifth. Have runners at second and third and 2 outs here in the 6th inning. Max Stagg scored 2 runs last inning and drove in 2, looking for 2 more RBIs right here. The pitch on the way, good slider from Galanita in there for a strike, and the count 0-1. Clear, beautiful evening in some respects. The light show, I think, will be very well received when it comes. The strike 1 pitch, tap foul at the plate, and the count 0-2 to Max Stagg. And that is, I really am grateful for the fact that the drone light show, no matter what the score might be, is coming our way. It should be a lot of fun to watch, but I think just the score on the board, if there weren't a big show coming after the game, might have sent a few more fans home. A high pop fly on the right side. On the infield, Ethan Porter moves over a step or two to his right to make the catch. The inning is over. The Knights commit 2 errors in the inning. No runs, no hits. The 2 errors and 2 left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. A new pitcher will be coming in for Edmonton. We'll take a 2-minute pitching change break at the end of 5.5. Edmonton 13, the Knights 3, back in 2 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
With the crew, where good vibes meet good times. Retro keys, vintage vibes, unlock your next adventure. Pope's got the hookup too. Belly rubs included. Space to kick back, laugh out loud, and just be. Hit the pop shop for quick snacks and take in the moment. Or just chill with your pup and soak up the good life. Stay original at Hotel Corvallis.
Welcome. We're looking to switch and heard about OCCU. In 20 words, what makes OCCU different?
OCCU has free interest-earning checking, high-yield savings, and a community focus.
That's only 11.
We're the credit union with duck and beaver cards.
Sounds like OCCU has a lot to offer.
OCCU has been around for 70 years. We've learned a thing or two.
Switch to OCCU. Apply online at myoccu.org or at your local branch.
After a strong outing from Alan Gonzalez, who's in line for the win, Edmonton turns to a new pitcher as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Riverhawks leading 13-3. Ryan Severns will face Chase Halverson, the new pitcher for the Riverhawks. Chase delivers, fastball fouled off the netting and into Urchin Alley to the right. No balls and a strike. Chase out of Everett Community College went 4-0. Pitched for Bellingham last year. The strike one pitch grounded to the left of the second baseman Van Slyke. Matt fields and throws to first to get Ryan, who's now 0 for 3. One away. Maverick Russell, the designated hitter, the batter. Halverson at one point had committed to Seattle University out of Henry M. Jackson High School in Mill Creek, and played in beautiful Bellingham, Washington last summer. Maverick Russell awaiting the first pitch from Chase, and it's in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. Robert, if you're listening, I haven't had a chance to get to my text yet tonight about some of the other matters I've inquired concerning. How sweet I roam from field to field and tasted all of summer's pride, or something to that effect. You know that line? Is it Blake? Who is it? How sweet I roamed from field to field and summer pride. Those are the operative words. The strike two pitch rolled slowly up along first, a fair ball, grabbed by Max Stagg, who steps on the bag for out number 2. 2 down, and Joey Morosco, the batter, pondering English poetry, and Blake down 13-3. 2 outs, nobody on in the bottom of the 6th. But just thinking about, just seeing the fact that Chase Halverson's from Bellingham, two of my more memorable interviews ever took place at Joe Martin Stadium in Bellingham, where Ken Griffey Jr. made his professional debut with the Mariners. A bunt attempt missed by Joey Morosco, 0-1 the count. But the first time I ever met and conversed with a guy named Adley Rutschman was in a bullpen in Bellingham in the summer of 2015 during his time with the Corvallis Knights that year before joining Oregon State, and he too becoming a 1-1 pick out of Oregon State and a Corvallis Knights alum. And Jake Locker 1 year playing for Bellingham, the pride of Ferndale, and a rising star with the Washington Huskies. Jake was playing right field, and I got a few minutes with him maybe the summer before that. The strike two pitch missing down and away, and just thinking about roaming the fields during the summer and getting to have interesting encounters wherever, whether in Edmonton. Colin was the guy I was trying to think of last night. The pitch down and away, the count 1-2. 2 down to Joey Morosco, 2 outs, nobody on, 13-3. Bottom of the 6th, the slicing fly foul towards Casey corner down the right field side. It remains 1-2. I don't remember Colin's last name, but Al, if you're listening, I wish I could find a way to get it confirmed that some of these Edmontonian questions I'm asking, but the official scorer, press box attendant, whatever his role was, Morosco, a fly ball to center. Drew Veach comes on to make the catch, and the Knights go in order in the 6th. Colin somebody or other. Colin was one of the nicest people I ever knew in the Pacific Coast League, roaming all the fields and tasting all the summer pride. Colin in Edmonton back in the late 80s. Is he still around? If so, say hi to him for the Joker down with the Corvallis Knights. The Knights go in order in the 6th. At the end of 6, Edmonton 13 and the Knights 3. Back in 90 on Joe Radio.
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Welcome. We're looking to switch and heard about OCCU. In 20 words, what makes OCCU different?
OCCU has free interest-earning checking, high-yield savings, and a community focus.
That's only 11.
We're the credit union with duck and beaver cards.
Sounds like OCCU has a lot to offer.
OCCU has been around for 70 years. We've learned a thing or two.
Switch to OCCU. Apply online at myoccu.org or at your local branch.
Through 6 innings at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, Edmonton 13 runs, 11 hits, and 2 errors. The Knights 3 runs, 5 hits, and 3 errors. Jack Dallanita goes to work in the top of the 7th inning, and his first pitch missing high and away, ball 1, or to Jason Green. I should say the first pitch was strike, and now comes back and misses up and away. 1-1 the count to Jason. Like just about everybody in the Riverhawks lineup has had a productive night. Dallanita swings and a major league pop fly on the left side. It's up there for a long time. Going out is Knight shortstop Ryan Severns to take charge and make the catch. I mean, that was one of the highest flies I've seen all season. And Severns does a nice job waiting and hauling it in, having to backpedal a bit and deal with this not quite summer wind. We're still I think, about 24 hours or thereabouts from the true beginnings of summer. And it ain't, believe me, it ain't a summer night here in Corvallis. A ground ball to second. Tate Hammond fields and throws to first, and Jack Galanita has retired 4 straight. And the batter will be Matt Van Slyke. Jason Green, by the way, before that major league pop-up, had walked and scored, grounded out, walked and scored, single to right and scored. The operative phrase, and scored. 13 runs through the first 6 innings for Edmonton. 2 outs, nobody on. Matt Van Slyke, the batter, has struck out, popped out, popped to short, and singled home a run. He takes inside, ball 1, 1-0. Galanita looking for a 1-2-3 inning. And as the score would indicate at 13-3, those have been hard to come by. Pitch in there for a strike and the count 1-1. In fact, it has not happened. Edmonton has scored a run in every inning, save the last and the second, actually, when they threatened but came up empty. Same thing last inning. So I suppose one could argue it could be worse. Breaking ball strike from Galanita, 1-2 the count, 2 down. Jack Reddy comes to the plate, a check swing and a breaking ball on appeal. No swing, says base umpire Bryce Reeves. 2-2 the count to Matt Van Slyke. And while this has been a tough day indeed for the Corvallis Knights, it's been a fun day for Brooke to see his son come in unexpectedly with his wife Lizzie, Briley and Lizzie here. 2-2 check swing, tap foul at the plate. The count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes to Matt Van Slyke with 2 outs, nobody on in the 7th. The Knights trailing 13-3. And for the community of baseball here in Oregon State, Andrew Moore being announced as the new pitching coach for the Beavers. That's a good news day. Breaking ball taken, strike 3 called. And Jack Galanita with a clean, solid inning retires the Riverhawks in order. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Another pitcher coming in for the Riverhawks. Will take a 2-minute pitching change break. Edmonton 13, the Knights 3, back in 2 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Rolling with the crew, where good vibes meet good times. Retro keys, vintage vibes, unlock your next adventure. Poop's got the hookup too, belly rubs included. Space to kick back, laugh out loud, and just be. Hit the pop shop for quick snacks and take in the moment, or just chill with your pup and soak up the good life. Stay original at Hotel Corvallis.
Welcome. We're looking to switch and heard about OCCU. In 20 words, what makes OCCU different?
OCCU has free interest-earning checking, high-yield savings, and a community focus.
That's only 11.
We're the credit union with duck and beaver cards.
Sounds like OCCU has a lot to offer.
OCCU has been around for 70 years. We've learned a thing or two.
Switch to OCCU. Apply online at myoccu.org or at your local branch.
Bottom of the 7th inning, the Knights trailing 13-3. Tate Hammond will lead things off for the Knights. A new pitcher in for Edmonton. Left-hander coming in out of the bullpen. We'll try to get a read on the number. I was visiting with the Galvan family here between innings. Stacy, Jim's daughter-in-law, 49 today, and Corey Jean Galvan will turn 21, coming to ball games since she was 2 years old. She'll turn 21 on July 28th. Left-hander's first pitch in there for a strike. No lights out here, and it's dark. Yogi Berra gets late early out there. When asked the difference between catching and playing left field, it gets late early out there, he said. I'm trying to see now without lights. It looks like Nico Heaney is the new pitcher, and he's fallen behind 3 balls and no strikes to Tate Hammond, leading things off for the Knights here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Nico Heaney delivers the 3-0 pitch and gets a strike. The count 3-1. I think I got Nico, if I have the notes now right, is from Mitch Canham Country. 3-1 pitch hit by the mound by Heaney, grabbed by Satow, the shortstop, who fires to first and gets the out. No, that would not be the case on Nico, with Tate Hammond bouncing out to open the bottom of the 7th. The Knights trailing 13-3. Nico hails quite a distance from Lake Stevens, Washington, I dare say. Auckland, New Zealand. His first pitch misses inside. 2 years at Skyline College, now at Bellarmine, where he had a good spring, appeared in 18 ball games. Missing ball 1-0 to Max Medina. The 0-1 pitch, Max hits it off his front foot and crumples to the turf in pain. Ouch. In the rotation of athletic trainers, I'm not sure whom is trotting out now for the Knights to tend to Max Medina. And there's not a whole lot that can be done here other than Max really in pain on his right foot. He pounded that ball off his front foot and is trying to walk the pain off in the bottom of the 7th inning, where the Knights trail 13-3. The athletic trainer going to report to Brooke Knight on his findings, and all he found was a young man in a lot of pain from the foul ball off his own person. Max steps back into the box. These kids are tough. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, nobody on. Really tough night for the Knights in a series of them here in the summer of 26. The 1-1 pitch spins him around, up and in, ball 2. 2-1. Max has been a fun ball player to watch. He's got a lot of dimension to his game. Incoming freshman at Cal Poly. The 2-1 pitch is ripped off the mitt of the first baseman, Max Stagg, who gathers and steps on the bag for out number 2. In keeping with the spirit of the evening. That ball was smoked back at first, but right at Stagg, who did a good job to knock it down, stay with it, and was hit so hard he had plenty of time to gather and get to first. 2 away, and Ethan Porter, the batter. Ethan has doubled to left, flied to center, and grounded to first. Taylor or someone will soon be coming along to ask me about our Washington Park Advisors player of the game. Sometimes in games such as this, there have only been 1 or 2 occasions where I've just said, hey, we're not going to go with anybody tonight. But Ian Draper has 3 RBIs. There is that. The first pitch missing. Now the 1-0 offering, punched foul outside of first and down the line. And the count goes to 1-1 to Ethan, who has doubled to left, flied to center, and grounded to third. 13-3, the Edmonton Riverhawks in the bottom of the 7th inning. Ethan Porter, slightly open stance, looking for his second hit of the night. Misses, does the left-hander Nico Heaney. 2 balls and 1 strike the count. From the stretch, the left-hander with nobody on comes to Ethan, who swings and lifts one foul off first. Hustling over, sliding to try to make a great play, Max Stagg. I hope Max is okay, and he is. He popped up. I was worried about him. He slid hard, and I thought for a moment he might have slid too hard into the facade in front of the lower grandstand, and Jake Lanford, the head coach, comes out, "Are you okay?" And Stagg says, "Yeah, I am," and he plays on. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Ethan Porter at the plate, played with Tyler Bellarose at Huntington Beach High School, and Tyler has been posting videos of his continued and steady progress in his rehabilitation from the very serious accident that he sustained a couple of months ago, necessitating a postponement of a game between Oregon State and Oregon at Hops Ballpark in Hillsborough. The 3-2 pitch to Ethan is way outside to the backstop, in fact, ball 4 from Nico Heaney. A 2-out walk to Porter. Carter Stewart will come to the plate. But it really is encouraging news to see Tyler improving day to day. And it is still a fond hope, not in the sense of the Milton sense of it in the 17th century when he said, "I fondly ask," meaning foolishly. No, Tyler Bellarose's fond hope in the more modern sense of the word is to pitch for the Knights at some point again this summer, as he did so well last year. It was a big part of the Knights season, and it was redshirting with Oregon State this year. Hadn't pitched and still hopes to do that again. And that was Rich Dorman, one of his messages. "Belly, you're going to pitch again for the Beavs." The first pitch, missing high and away, ball 1 to Carter Stewart, but we are also encouraged by reports of Tyler's progress, and I'm sure Ethan Porter, chief among those, drawing the walk. He's held on at first. 1-0 the count to Carter Stewart. Fastball, Carter tried to check his swing, and I think did somehow. On appeal, swing, says the base umpire, Bryce Reeves. I thought he actually held up, but there was a lot of body movement in that check swing. 1-2 the count. 2 outs, nobody on. The Knights social media director, Faith, has come up to my broadcast vantage point. We look like we're trying to live outside of igloos, the way we're all bundled up. The pitch on the way, pulled foul. Are you hanging in there okay tonight? I'm a little better prepared myself with the hoodie and the blanket, and I've got some other things back there too, just in case. But a good crowd tonight. Everybody's excited about the light show that's coming, the drone light show.
Who's the player of the game?
Okay, Faith is asking me about the player of the game too. Carter Stewart is the batter at the moment. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch to Carter hit foul. As I mentioned earlier, I thought somebody would be coming along to ask me about that. Ian Draper has 3 RBIs. So Ian Draper right now is the Knights player of the game, yeah. Now, if the Knights make some sort of miraculous rally, come back and see me and we'll talk about perhaps another name. But for now, it's Ian Draper. Thank you, Faith. Faith getting out a lot of content on the Knights social media channels. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Carter Stewart is hit by the pitch, and he will head down to first base. Ethan Porter to second. And certainly it has to be a heck of a note and disappointing for Nico Heaney to have a 10-run lead and give up back-to-back free bases. It comes with 2 outs in the inning, so that's a bit mitigating. Ian Draper, the batter, our Washington Park Advisors leader in the clubhouse for player of the game, and he has a chance, bless his heart, for a 4th run batted in with a base hit. 13-3 Edmonton. Draper takes high and away, ball 1, 1-0. Draper out of Rogers High School in Puyallup. The 1-0 pitch on the way, very high, ball 2, and if he takes it via a walk with the bases loaded, that's just fine, I'm sure, with him. And the Knights, who will try to make a late bid, perhaps, to fight their way back. 2 on and 2 out, 13-3 Riverhawks in the bottom of the 7th inning. The 2-0 pitch is high, ball 3, 3-0. Zane Garvey on deck. Versatile ball player for the Huskies this past spring. Played first base, third base, second base. He DH'd. Good ball player. The 3-0 pitch on the way, down the middle for a strike, and the count 3-1. Mitch Canham was sharing with me I didn't call him, believe me. Mitch, who are you going to hire? I've been getting so many people. Who are you going to hire? Who's going to be the new pitching coach? Thinking that I would know. I've had conversations with Mitch, a couple of them, since the move by Rich. No. 3 balls and 2 strikes the count. I didn't even make an effort. I should have, but I'm all bundled up here against the cold. 3-2 the count with 2 down. But I did talk to Mitch a little bit about the 3-2 pitch with the runners going is taken, strike 3 called to retire the side. Mitch is so excited about and just told me, I'm looking forward to getting the new pitching coach in. We've got a lot of things to celebrate with Oregon State baseball. And he said the schedule. He gave me a hint of the schedule coming next year, not only with the 18 games in the rebuilt Pac-12. He reeled off a bunch of names and teams and schools. I'm not going to repeat them here because it's not official. But when you see the non-conference schedule for Oregon State baseball next year, I think you will be duly impressed, as will all of college baseball, what the Beavers are taking on next year. No runs, no hits, no errors, 2 left. We go to the 8th. Kellen Siegel will come in out of the bullpen for the Corvallis Knights. We'll take a 90-second pitching change break. Brought to you by Wilson Motors. Remember, free tickets available at 5th and Buchanan at the dealership. Wilson Motors Night coming up July 23rd. Be sure to stop by 5th and Buchanan at Wilson Motors and pick up your free tickets for the Corvallis Knights game on July 23rd. Edmonton 13, the Knights 3, back in 90 on Joe Radio.
Rolling with the crew, where good vibes meet good times. Retro keys, vintage vibes, unlock your next adventure. Pope's got the hookup too, belly rubs included. Space to kick back, laugh out loud, and just be. Hit the pop shop for quick snacks and take in the moment, or just chill with your pup and soak up the good life. Stay original at Hotel Corvallis.
Leading off, first baseman, number 15,
How soon are we up? Okay. Top of the 8th inning, Kellen Siegel comes in for the Knights, who trail Edmonton 13-3. The first pitch from Kellen to a new hitter, and then we got to kind of keep an eye now with some new personnel coming in for Edmonton. This will be Braden Scott pinch hitting. Kellen's first pitch to Braden missing for ball one, 1-0 out of Vancouver, British Columbia. Braden Scott getting his first appearance in the series. 2 balls and no strikes. Kellen Siegel following Ari Silva, Camden Hartzell, Landon Salveson, Jack Galanita, and now Kellen into the ball game. The pitch to Braden Scott is in there for a strike. 2-1 the count. Top of the 8th, 13-3. Fastball foul back, 2-2 the count. The Urchins are gathering. They are gathering and making a lot of noise in Urchin Alley below, right behind us. Good for them. Hoping to get a foul ball with the left-handed hitter Braden Scott. Unlikely. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kellen Siegel to the plate. Fastball swung on and missed. Braden Scott strikes out of the University of British Columbia, the hometown of beautiful Vancouver, BC. Had a huge year this past spring for UBC, going .375 with 3 homers and 47 runs batted in. Played at Kamloops in the West Coast League last summer. The Urchins had best be prepared because here comes Shido Satow, who's gone all the way and has had just a great ball game for Edmonton. First pitch, fastball, a strike, 0-1 the count. Shido has doubled, walked and scored again. Been aboard on an error. He's played a good game at shortstop. Swings at the strike 1 pitch from Kellen, doesn't get it, the count 0-2. Kellen Siegel's mom, Courtney, and of course CEO for the Knights, Papa Dan, in the ballpark tonight. Kellen 6'2", 190, Grant High School, Lynn Benton Community College, his 4th year with the Knights. Delivers outside, ball 1, 1-2. Has been a two-way player all 3 years with the Knights. And this past spring, a really solid year for Andy Peterson at LB, hitting .305 with a homer, 18 runs batted in, 4 appearances on the hill. Kellen ready, the 1-2 pitch on the way, swung on and missed, strike 3, 2 down. Back-to-back strikeouts for Kellen Siegel, 2 away. 7 straight retired by Knights pitching, trying to restore some semblance of order, and zeros on the board each of the last 2 frames after the 9-run debacle of sorts for the Edmonton Riverhawks in the 5th inning to turn a close ball game into the rout we are now looking at. First pitch, fastball to Kotare Wakui, fouled to the left in front of the Knights dugout. No balls and 1 strike the count. Chris Parkin on deck. 2 outs, nobody on. Kellen Siegel to the plate. Strike 1 pitch is lined into center field. Base hit. The 12th hit of the night for the Riverhawks to go with their 13 runs. A 2-out single for Kotare Wakui. His 3rd hit. He's also walked twice. And now Chris Parkin, the batter. Chris with a sacrifice fly has struck out, had an RBI single, an RBI with the bases loaded walk in the 9-run 5th. Aboard on an error in his last at-bat. Hit the ball well, but dropped out in left field by Zane Garvey. Swings at a first pitch fastball from Kellen Siegel here. No balls and 1 strike. Kellen out of the stretch. And the strike 1 pitch, a ground ball to short. Ryan Severance picks it up. He will go across the diamond for the out to get Parkin. And a good inning of work for Kellen Siegel. The Knights down 10 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning through 7.5. Edmonton 13, the Knights 3, back in 2 minutes with a pitching change break coming for the Riverhawks. Back in 2 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
left fielder from Western Oregon, number 6, Zane Garvey.
Zane Garvey to lead things off for the Corvallis Knights with a new pitcher in for the Edmonton Riverhawks. Right-hander Brandon Craven delivers to Zane. Fastball swung on and missed. 0-1 the count. 13-3 Edmonton. Bottom of the 8th inning. Brandon Craven, second summer with Edmonton, appeared in 14 games for the Riverhawks last year. His changeup misses away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Zane, who has walked, flied to center twice. Monterey Peninsula College right-hander Brandon Craven into the ball game. 5'10", 170-pounder. The dimensions, I think, thereabouts of the great Steve Dalkowski. The legendary Dalkowski, anyway. Great, maybe that's too strong of a word. The 1-1 pitch hit foul off to the left and out of play. The count 1-2. Dalkowski may not have weighed 170. It was more like 5'10", 155 or 160. And he's worth looking up just for the sake of a fascinating story if you don't know the legend of or have read about Steve Dalkowski. I see 5'10", and I think Dalkowski. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Craven delivers, swung on and missed, strike 3. Zane Garvey strikes out. Ryan Severns, the hitter. Severns has flied to left, flied to center, and grounded to second. 13-3 Edmonton, bottom of the 8th inning. I first encountered the Dalkowski story in a magazine article. Do any of you remember the mag called Inside Sports? I have a few issues. I enjoyed Inside Sports, and they did a tremendous feature story on Steve Dalkowski, who was still alive then and living out the legend, but not really able to monetize it. He was living in near poverty, and an amazing experience he had in the game of baseball. Ryan Severns takes outside, ball 1. Craven back to the plate and misses inside. 2 balls and no strikes. But he's worth looking up. I'm sure there's a AI overview, Wikipedia, whatever, and as much as I'm not a big fan of that, searches can yield some fruitful results. And if you learn something about Steve Dalkowski tonight, I think you'd be interested if you're interested in fascinating stories in the history of the game. The 2-0 pitch hit foul into Urchin Alley, and the Urchins are giving wild chase. 2 balls and a strike to Ryan Severns. 1 out, bottom of the 8th. The Knights trailing 13-3. But Dalkowski at 5'10", 160 may have been, even with apologies to Jacob Mizorowski, the hardest thrower in the history of the sport. At least in 2 most recent years. Now guys are in the same kind of zone that Dalkowski reportedly was. The 1-2 pitch missing inside, ball 2, 2-2. Fast and wild, on and off the field. The 2-2 pitch, breaking ball low, ball 3, 3-2 to Ryan Severns. And Dalkowski, his habits off the field. I'm sorry again, I'm chuckling when I think about Mickey Mantle and that old timers game we were talking about. It's not funny per se, I understand, but some of the stories about Dalkowski and the legend about him, just incredible stuff. The 3-2 pitch hits Ryan Severns. He'll trot down to first, getting plunked by the pitch from the new right-hander in the ballgame, Brandon Craven. Dalkowski was, in his time, trying to come up through the Baltimore Orioles minor league system, late 50s into the early 60s. 5'10", 155, left-hander, 155, 160 pounds. Was believed to be the hardest thrower in the history of the sport, but wild as Nuke LaLoosh. The pitch on the way to Maverick Russell, low, ball 1. The stories, I mean, he would hit people in the on-deck circle through a pitch so high that it knocked out a writer in a press box once. Now, I don't know if there's Bunyan-esque hyperbole involved with the Dalkowski story, probably. But much of it rooted in documented stuff. The 1-0 pitch low for ball 2, 2-0. Mac the Knight is carrying on just below, and here comes Michaela and Violet to see what Mac the Knight's up to. I'm not sure. He's getting some help from some fans right below me about something. The 2-0 pitch, a strike, and the count 2-1 to Maverick Russell. What's going on down there, Michaela? Do you know what he's trying to do? Yeah. I don't know. He looks like a puppy trying to find a bone underneath something. I don't know what's going on with Mac. 2 balls and a strike. He's drawing a crowd around him for some reason. He's Mac the Knight. He deserves a crowd, but what it is he's trying to do, looking under some benches right below. Oh, he's acting like he's acting like he's stuck in a folding chair. Maybe he really is stuck. He could be. 2 balls and 2 strikes. This may not just be an act. The 2-2 pitch, chopped foul. I think he's legitimately stuck, got a foot stuck in a folding chair. I think liberation has come, or he's got both feet in there now. I'm not sure, but believe me, down 13-3 in the 8th, it's nice to have the diversion. Thank you. Mac the Knight knows how to get the crowd going when the home team is down 10 runs. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. The 2-2 pitch is high and away, ball 3, 3-2. Now, at a certain point, while it's funny that he's stuck in the folding chair right below me, at some point it becomes a little less funny if he can't get himself extricated. But he's got a number of people coming over trying to help Mac the Knight get free from the folding chair, the chair seats. And he really is stuck. His left foot is stuck. He's trying to get his boot off as part of his Mac the Knight costume. And in the meantime, the count is 3 balls and 2 strikes to Maverick Russell with 1 out. Did he do it? Yes, he did, and hence the big ovation. The 3-2 pitch to Maverick Russell misses for ball 4. Maverick down to first base after the great escape by Mac the Knight, who had his foot stuck in a chair for most of this half inning. He's finally free. He got a lot of help from the Knights fans, and he goes limping away. Good work by the crowd and by Mac the Knight himself. And I'm glad to come to the ballpark and have the attention diverted from the things on the field, which have not been as enjoyable to watch as the act from Mac the Knight. I don't think it was an act, actually. He needed help, and he gets himself free. Because we continue in the bottom of the 8th, 13-3, runners at first and second, 1 out. The pitch on the way to Joy Morosco, a fly ball to right center field. Moving over is the center fielder, Drew Veach, to make the catch. Yeah, it might be a new center fielder out there, too. It's been difficult to keep track of all things tonight. Let's see what we got. Yeah, we do have a new center fielder. Drew Veach is out. Might be Jake. I'm not quite sure. I couldn't get a number on some of the personnel changes that with the luxury of a 13-3 lead in the 8th that the head coach, Jake Landferman, has undertaken, but that wasn't the Drew Veach bodily movements I've become accustomed to. Joy Morosco does fly out to center. Tate Hammond takes ball 1 from Brandon Craven. The 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike. 1-1 the count. Galkowski supposedly once threw a pitch so fast the catcher didn't catch it, and the home plate umpire's mask was shattered when it hit the umpire's mask. I mean, these are the kinds of stories that surrounded the life and legend of Steve Dalkowski. 2 balls and a strike to Tate Hammond. There was one spring finally with Baltimore, I think, in 1963. The 2-1 pitch hit foul towards Waldo Hall to the left and out of play. The count 2-2. In spring training in 63, and Frank Peters has told me about him. Frank Peters, the former Oregon State great, basketball and baseball, went on to become a legend with the Portland Mavericks. But Frank Peters was part of that spring training, playing behind Brooks Robinson in the Orioles system, and he said that was a spring where Dalkowski was getting it all together. The 2-2 pitch, away, ball 3, and the stuff was Koufaxian, a left-hander. He was beginning to harness the incredible velocity and throw his secondary stuff. It didn't last, and he never did make it to the big leagues, but he got close in 63. 3-2, 2 down. The runners go. 3-2 pitch, swung on, foul tipped and held. Tate Hammond strikes out, and the Knights are gone. In the 8th, through 8, Edmonton 13 and the Knights 3. Will be back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
All right, fans, it's time for the sing-along song. If you're a Neil Diamond fan or if you're just a baseball fan, let's sing some Sweet Caroline.
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Nice and easy does it. Xavier Rios delivers. Xavier Rios delivers. First pitch swung on and rolled foul. Xavier back to the plate. Kind of an emergency pitcher role for the Knights in the top of the 9th inning with Edmonton leading 13-3. The strike one pitch missing outside and the count 1-1. Rios delivers a ground ball to the left of shortstop Ryan Severns from behind the bag. Picks it up and throws to first, and a nice job by Xavier Rios, the Knights' primary catcher, but he gets an out here on the ground ball off the bat of Connor Kavnar, hitting for Omar Gonzalez. Kavnar grounding out. Connor out of Johnson County Community College, hailing from in Overland Park, Kansas, from Oklahoma City and Westmore High School, playing at Northern Oklahoma College Enid. Grounds out. First pitch from Rios, swung on and missed. The Knights fans and the Knights dugout getting into the spirit of things with Max Stagg swinging and missing at the first pitch. No balls in a strike. The 1-1 pitch, I should say, breaking ball from Rios. Down, ball 2. 2-1. The Knights getting a pitcher in just to eat up this final inning. A line drive caught at third base by Ian Draper. So Rios has a couple of quick outs, 2 down, and we won't see Jason Green hit here. Coming to the plate for Edmonton will be A.J. Marchetti, who is a backup catcher on this club. Xavier Rios with 2 outs delivers to Marchetti, a ground ball to the hole at short, a jump throw on the backhand try by Severns, not in time. Marchetti with the base hit, a young man out of Tennessee Tech coming through Indian Hills Community College. Can you please liven up the second mic for a moment, guys. Everett Bartee and Brian Thomas, Cassie Duke, the crew tonight. If you could get the second mic live. As we come down the stretch of this ball game, I've had my friends throughout here. Chopper back of third, foul. I want to have Violet Nelson say hello if you want to on the radio, and maybe wish your dad a happy Father's Day if he's listening. I want to get both of you guys on here. It's been great to have you. So I'll put Violet on first only because she was here first. And the pitch on the way, a fly ball to center field, drifting back, making the catch is Max Medina for the out. It's a good inning for Knight's backup. Knight's starting catcher is kind of a emergency pitcher getting the out. 3 outs. Violet Nelson is on the headset with me. Violet, turn around. Let's keep that thing up here. You're going to get a picture from your sister. Keep that microphone in front of your mouth right in there. And can I hear you say maybe something? Say hi to Missy and a happy Father's Day to your dad. Go ahead.
Hi, Missy, and happy Father's Day.
Okay, and there's a picture. Now I want to put Michaela on when we come back. A final commercial break, and we'll give Michaela a chance. Your sister Alicia used to be on the air with me too. I don't know if you knew that. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. We'll be back in 90. 13-3 Edmonton, back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
For the Riverhawks.
Bottom of the 9th inning at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The drone light shows spectacular not too far away. The Knights trailing 13-3. Now, it would be an incredible thing for the Knights to score 10 and force extra innings. That would be a thrill to see in its own right. But on the other hand, if it doesn't happen, there is a nice fallback position, and that is this nice crowd of 2,169 will have an opportunity to watch the first of 2 light show spectaculars, drone light shows coming up after the game. Ryuga Sakamoto, 5'7", 175, right-hander out of Japan, goes to work. And the first pitch in the bottom of the 9th inning is in there for a strike out of Tochigi, Japan. California Community College Athletic Association and the Coast South League at Monterey Peninsula had a good spring. And he delivers a strike to Max Medina to even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1 pitch from Ryuga misses low, ball 2, 2-1. Happy to be joined here as my friend Violet Nelson, Violet's older sister Michaela, is here. The pitch on the way is lifted to center field, and right there to make the catch out in center. 1 away in the bottom of the 9th inning. And again, it's a different center fielder that's come in. And with 1 out, I mentioned him last inning, and I've been busy with other matters up here and haven't been able to log in we'll try to get to that here in a moment. The batter will be Ethan Porter. The first pitch from Ryuga misses in the turf, ball one. Hi, Michaela. How are you tonight?
Pretty good.
Okay. Are you staying warm or are you pretty cold?
In the middle.
Yeah, hanging on for the light show. Thanks for being here tonight. Tell us, and I had the pleasure of working with your older sister doing an internship with the Knights 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago now. But tell me what brings you here. It's like a surprise celebration. Tell us who your dad is, and you want to wish him a happy Father's Day.
Oh yeah, we're bringing my dad over as a surprise for Father's Day.
And his name?
Jason.
Jason Nelson.
Yeah.
And you're going to be a sophomore at Philomath High School.
Yes.
Right? Now, good for you. Well, thanks for being here tonight, and thanks for helping take care of Jack and Jiffy at your beautiful place. The pitch to Ethan Porter's high and inside, or actually nicked him. He gets hit by a pitch, so he'll go down to first. Before we let you go, and I think all of this is being filmed by your younger sister, Violet, you guys have a fair coming up, and what is it you're going to be showing, both of you, at that fair?
Yeah, we have fair in August, and I'm showing a steer, and she's showing a goat.
Okay. A steer and a goat, and I see them and hear them every time I come over to feed Jack and Jiffy. Thanks, you guys. Great to hear. Michaela, thanks for being here tonight. I appreciate it. That's Michaela Nelson and Violet Nelson, and their folks are here on a surprise Father's Day gift for Jason coming to the Knights game tonight, and they'll all be watching the live show, the drone show, when this ball game is over. Carter Stewart, the batter. The pitch on the way to Carter, the 1-0 offering in there for a strike, and the count 1-1. Great to see so many families in the ballpark tonight, and while the result on the field has been disappointing, 13-3 Edmonton, bottom of the ninth. It is always a fun night to be at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The 1-1 pitch, missing, down and in, ball 2, 2-1 to Carter Stewart. With the Knights trailing 13-3, there was a time that the ball game was a little more compelling. In fact, a 2-2 tie going to the top of the fourth. Things got away, I dare say, from the Knights a little bit thereafter. The pitch on the way is pulled foul up along first. The count even now, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Carter Stewart. Ethan Porter, why is he being held on by Max, the first baseman? I know not, but indeed Porter being held on with the Knights down 13-3. The 2-2 pitch swung on and missed, strike 3 by Carter Stewart. Carter previously had fouled out, doubled and scored, walked, and been hit by a pitch. 2 down in the bottom of the ninth inning. The Knights down to their final out. And out of the University of Washington, he's out of Puyallup, Ian Draper. 3 RBIs on the night. The Knights have 3 runs. Ian's driven in all 3. The first pitch from Ryuga Sakamoto is in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. Really good numbers, as I mentioned, this past spring, and he's trying to put the finishing touches in what has been an Edmonton rout here tonight at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Strike 1 pitch, a check swing on appeal, no swing. And that runs the count even, 1 ball and 1 strike. Catcher a little late, A.J. Marchetti on the appeal. Swing or no swing, it's a decision an umpire will make. The 1-1 pitch, a wild pitch that'll send Ethan Porter down to second. Regardless of the mechanics of the appeal, but I've always just felt that if a catcher aggressively, quickly asks for the appeal, he has a better chance of if there's a lot of time lapse. What? Oh, you want me to? Oh, should I? Oh, hey, we'd like to appeal that. Doesn't seem to go over as much as the catcher quickly pointing and asking. And I think it's possible Draper had swung at the pitch, but the appeal was a little, let's just say it was kind of a lukewarm sort of appeal and late. The pitch to Draper swung on and missed, and the count 2-2 with 2 down. Porter at second, bottom of the ninth. 2-2 breaking pitch in the dirt. 3-2 the count to Ian Draper. Zane Garvey on deck. The rubber game of this 3-game series will take place tomorrow. The Knights will have lost their 6th of their last 8 ball games, and again, sort of an unprecedented stretch in the franchise's history. The 3-2 pitch is high for ball 4. Zane Garvey will come to the plate with 2 on and 2 out in the bottom of the 9th inning. But we keep looking for and believing that we will see the turning of the corner, and I don't think it'll be as futile, as nervous. Who was the singer? Prosperity is just around the corner. It was a novelty song in the 30s in the Hoover era. Prosperity, Hoover would say, is just around the corner. And the novelty song, something about we'd still like to know which corner. We still think that better days are just around the corner for the Knights, and we expect them soon. Here's a fly ball into center field, coming in a hurry and in keeping with the night and the stretch of late for the Knights. A running catch by the new center fielder who ends the game, making an excellent play, and he deserves to be properly recognized. Max Stagg out in center field, I believe it was, came in and made the grab to end the game. Well, it was a rough night for the Corvallis Knights after a 2-2 tie through the first, going to the 4th inning, a 2-2 tie. Edmonton scored 2 in the 4th to take the lead 4-2, but then broke it open with 9 runs in the 5th inning and went on to drub the Knights by a final score of 13-3. Better days ahead tomorrow and even tonight. Better times ahead with the light show, the drone light show, spectacular. If you missed tonight, be sure to get out here again on July 18th. A couple of other notes: be sure to get your tickets for the July 3rd fireworks spectacular, and stop by Wilson Motors at 5th and Buchanan between now and July 23rd for free tickets to the Knights game that evening. Compliments of Wilson Motors. Brooke Knight has gathered the team again out in left field, a team that's trying to find its way in the summer of 2026. They fall big tonight by a final score of 13-3, their second 13-3 loss of the week. So, tomorrow night, they hope to get back on track into the type of baseball we've seen and enjoyed from the Knights so often through these summers. The Knights drop to 10-10. Edmonton improves to 8-12. That's going to do it for us here tonight. For our crew this evening, Everett Barty with his folks in the house. Everett Barty, Brian Thomas, Cassie Duke, and Garrett Dworshak back in studio. And you can say goodbye, good night. If you want to say good night, everybody, please say it. Okay, Violet says good night, everybody, and want to thank all of you for joining us this evening. Hang around now if you're in the ballpark or in the surrounding area. Hope you enjoy the drone light show. We'll be back on Father's Day tomorrow. You can play catch with Dad on the field after the game if you want to come out. It's a 5:05 start. We'll be on the air at 4:50 with the pregame show, probably visiting with Ian Draper. That'll do it for tonight. Again, our final score: Edmonton in a big way takes game 2. The Riverhawks 13, the Knights 3. See you tomorrow at 4:50 right back here on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. So long, everybody.